Welcome, I am Brenda Power. And I have, hopefully, if I go to my fan page, you will begin to see a new intro. But it is all tricky because all the machines are different. And each one of them requires a lot of time to do. So the question is will it go live? And as we're waiting for that to happen, I should be able to talk to you without having to it. So you'll see. Can't tell if you can see it through this one, but down here, it's going to be backwards looking. You'll just have to figure that out. Oh, Lord. And getting this other camera, I bumped it earlier today. Now, in the pilot classes, we've been learning a lot about knots, N-O-T-S. Knots. It's important to understand what knots are. I just screwed up and hit the outro, so we'll see how well that works. It is challenging at best when you live day to day. You got to think of life. You've got to think of what is this I'm talking about? What are we doing? It is life. And in this particular life, what does it really mean? Well, it can get very confusing because people don't really know how to address talking about life. And it is that part of you that knows that you're physical. And sometimes we screw that up quite nicely. And your mental, some people say, well, they don't have good mental health. And emotional, they say, oh, that's only when you're sad or something bad happens. But it is important to understand that it's more than that. It is life. It is all these things, your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. And we don't pay attention to how life really works. We're told that your physical health is because you didn't eat right or didn't exercise or didn't get enough sleep. Or in fact, it's more than that. It is also what you eat as far as what do you consume. The first three chakras about what is you consume. And it doesn't have to always be about food or alcohol or drugs. It's about what words do we feed ourselves? What belief systems do we feed ourselves? And when you have that part of you that's in that very specific state, you're not even aware that you're post-hypnotic suggestions. You don't, oh, my shirt broke. Oh, well, we're just going to ignore that. But things in life break. What are you supposed to do? You roll with it. You don't have to be ashamed of it. We're so good at teaching people to become ashamed of everything and that we need to feel bad about our choices. And that's not true. You shouldn't have to feel bad about your choices. We have to move out of this fear that we live in. And we live in this frequency that's below love. And we weave in and out of it all the time. Now, the problem is that if you're just in your ego mindset, you're only going to follow what your ego knows. It's what you over-identify with. It is what your identity is. I mean, I keep hearing that a lot of you want to wake up. Then there are people that say that they have awakened, but they haven't processed those old things that happened in life. These are called what's unresolved issues. If you happen to be talking to somebody about these unresolved issues and they don't know your language, then they think with their ego mind that you're attacking them, hurting them, and that you're no way that you're processing love. That's not true. It is. It's just that you have to hear me in your spirit mindset. And that spirit mindset is no judgment. It's about discernment. It's about, there's an urge inside that says, I want to know. I need to awaken. In the beginning, it'll feel like a hot seat. And it'll feel like your ass is on fire. You just got burnt. And oh my God, it's like you're learning how to move beyond being conscious of the self through ego, which is a self-conscious. I have a bird that's really beautiful. He's a yellow crusted sulfur crust, and he's as soon as he sees that you're eating, that you're looking at him and he's eating, he'll become statue boy. I mean, that he doesn't move, whatever position you caught him in. And you stop looking, and you can see in the corner of his eye, he's like, I know you're still looking at me. Quit it. I mean, I swear to God, that's what he's doing. And so then you're like, okay. And he's like, I know you're still looking. And then all of a sudden, okay, I'm conscious that she's not seeing me. Okay, that's good. And then he begins to eat. I look at him, he's like, oh, he's that proof that we are self-conscious. There's a type to be prepared. I'm prepared to some degree, but my hair does not dry fast. I don't have time to flat iron it. I actually enjoyed spending time with my husband today. He got up and before me made me a cup of coffee and made me some little bit of breakfast. And so I sat there and I took that moment. And I enjoyed that moment. Yes, I'm doing a show today. But I chose not to hurry. I chose not to care what everybody else thinks. I chose to see what I could get done before the show happens. And including not even stop stressing myself out that this new thing that I'm doing requires at least 15 steps before you can get on. Me and Amy did a dry run. Well, it took us 6 takes to do before I think I finally figured out that each of these little components are going to work just fine. And, just realize that after we get done talking, if you can see this here, you're going to get a free 1-minute read. Okay. Whether it's a card or pendulum, something from the Akashic records, something. I don't really do future readings because you have so many variables, and I do not want the power of suggestion to influence you. I want you to understand that you're already being influenced by the unresolved emotions. But future readings, to some degree, it is, are you being supportive? What do I need to do next so I can have what I want? Because we have too many knots in our head, too many of those knots. And that's what we're learning in our pilot class. And so it's in a journey that really seems hard at first to think that there's knots in my life. But there is. And now there's 2 more knots, Amy, that I have to discuss. And it's about, when I was a little girl, we had no running water. And so you had to go poop and pee in a bucket. And you got six people living in the house in this trailer. And the bucket is next to the toilet, which is next to the shower. But when kids are playing tag and all of this, guess what happens to the bucket? It can be spilled. And I cannot, as an adult, I'm running around trying to figure out why I can't stand Band-Aids on the floor. It just grosses me out. It's just Band-Aids. But then the other thing that drives me crazy is when I see toilet paper, wet toilet paper. Ooh, do not let that get near my skin, anywhere near my body. It's like, ew. Now, in the toilet, it's not a big deal. But outside of that toilet, you don't know where it's been or what it was used for. And so my dream last night was, remember how you said you're not going to have that happen to you again? And I felt every incident. And I'm like, So that's like a towards and away from. We're moving away from that ever happening again. You're like, no. And what happens is you put a certain amount of your life force into that so that it helps manifest. And why would God give you such shit? It's because it's where energy flows, where attention goes. And You may have put your attention on it when you were 3, but it's still that amount of attention or energy is attached to it, and it's still learning to process something that is unresolved and waiting for you to process. And I was like, but I have to heal that. I don't want that to happen. And then Spirit says, oh, Brenda, you know that if you heal it, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It just means that you won't lose your shit when it happens. Or you won't freak out when you see a Band-Aid. It's like, I'm like, yeah, I know that. Okay, so we have to convince that little self on that. Because I had that same issue when it came to people dying. If I heal the pain that they've dead, then that means they're lost forever. And Spirit goes, no. If you heal the pain that controls you of not wanting to let go, or the pain of rejecting that reality, or the pain that you have nowhere to put that love, and that safety, security, and stability has been crushed, and you haven't had the ability to cope, handle, deal, and pacify with tools or with a way to be able to process, yeah, it's going to be help. But if you process now, no matter how late, and you allow yourself to let go of that, and yes, I will have to accept the reality, but it's not like you think. Because when you take the pain off, the acceptance and forgiveness happens. The acceptance and the forgiveness and the pain disappears. It doesn't control you, own you, and take up space in your head or your heart. And when I started to trust Spirit more, and I decided, okay, I'm going to heal this. Oh, it was such an easy process. It was that letting go of... And then as that happened, my mother got closer. She's dead. My sister got closer. My family that was supposed to interact with my life got closer. Even my dead boyfriend is there. I can still feel him too. And I was like, wow, it actually allowed the door to be open. And I'm able to process because I've already processed. Does that make sense? I process the chemical peptides. I process the pain. I reprocess the rejection. My inability to cope, handle, deal, and pacify. I actually used a tool to resolve it. And then I evolved from that point. So it was like, whoa. When I learned that biggest lesson, I started to apply it to all the knots, all of the little things. But last night, it's like, oh, man. I have to say I healed it last night. So I got up this morning, I've seen a piece of toilet paper on the floor, and I didn't even think about it. I says, oh, my floor is dirty. Picked it up, threw it away, washed my hands, walked out, and Spirit says, you touched it. I says, I touched what? The toilet paper. I hadn't realized that by letting that go, that story go, I didn't even think twice about it. Now we'll have to see how Band-Aids work, but it's just as important. So understand, email if you want a reading. These scrolls by, there's 3 boards running. And because there's 3 boards running, it's hard for us to keep up. Now, if you email us what you're asking, when the thing scrolls and we miss it, we do want the participation. I do read them. But I also like, hello, Sharon. That's wonderful. Oh, okay. Getting a health scan. Oh, yay. Oh, wow. Can't wait to talk to you, sweetheart. And so everybody doesn't have to get missed. I do my best to go like this. Spirit brings it through. Spirit's the one that answers it. LaRonda, I can't come to your house. LaRonda says, I have Band-Aids on the floor all the time. Yeah, being a mother, that was... I didn't care if my house wasn't immaculate. It just couldn't have Band-Aids and stuff like that on the floor. But then here's the thing about passing down. So now my son is like 10 or 11 or something like that. And he couldn't stand the sight of Kleenexes. Now I have asthma, and at the time, It was so bad. This is before they diagnosed me to have asthma, because I didn't know what it was, and I couldn't breathe half the time. So I always had to have a Kleenex in my hand. He couldn't stand it. I always had to have a Kleenex in my pocket or in the bra, somewhere hidden in case of emergencies. And he couldn't stand that. It's like he didn't want to hug mom, talk to mom. And I couldn't understand why my son didn't want to get close to me. There was nothing on them. Half the time they were dry and clean, because, if it's just a quick one, I have it in my hand, I throw it away and get another one. So it's not like, but then I'm also notorious of making sure that I use it all the way through and don't waste it. I was always like, you can't waste it, But anyway, it's, you can pass the epigenetic issue that you've unresolved onto your kids, just to let you know. Not trying to make you feel guilty, just trying to help you understand that you can resolve a lot of things. And it's energy, so you can resolve it out of you, and you can spend and send that energy out. Okay? It's good to see all your wonderful faces. So I am doing a show at 11, and then Tuesday night, which is my tomorrow, is at 9 p.m. I'm doing a show at night. And I think Wednesday is at 4 p.m. my time and Aussie time. And that is about healing. Now, that's just strict healing. That's not really, you get a reading, but it's a healing. Now, Amy, what would you say? So everybody say hi to Amy. Amy, hello.
Hello.
Okay, and her kitty, Lily. But anyway, what was my question I was going to ask you? Uh-oh. Nutty fronts.
Some healing.
Oh, yeah. So during this show, we do a lot of readings, and then I can direct you to do a few healings. But during that show, it is all about healings first before readings, which means I'm going to quickly scan you, find out where the energies are off, and then I give you a tool, and then I tell you why, which means I can see and I give you a reading. Is that how that goes? I think that's how that one goes.
I believe so.
And it's different. It is a different. Can you tell the difference? I can, but can you tell? Okay. Yeah, I never know. So, Spirit just went blank. Look at the time. I have no idea what time it is. We're only 17 minutes into it. See, with the different screen, I can't see what time it is, but this one does. That's fine. I'll do that one. So Amy will do her best to, for the 1 minute, she'll tell you. If you want to expedite, you then go ahead and say an expedite. What's an expedite? Well, for $11, you get 6 minutes and you get moved to the top. So if I'm doing a bunch of 1 minute reads, somebody wants paid, then I will stop. You get expedited to the top, and that means you get a reading and everybody else waits. Yes, it's fair. And, that's what we're doing. Ghost is being demanding tonight. That's interesting. Ghost is her cat. So just understand that as soon as we get a few in, we'll begin to do some readings. And so Amy will keep checking.
We have, Pili has sent in for a 6-minute read.
Wonderful. Okay. I'll pop that open and understand why it's not working. Maybe just open PayPal. That's what we can do. But this is good. This is good. So if you know of any groups that do live reads, throw a watch party in there if you have permission. If you feel like maybe I would fit in there, then send me a link so that I can maybe do a live read in there someday. Okay? That would be very helpful because I don't know where to look. And if you're from Australia and you know of Australian groups that I'm unaware of, then that's good too. There it showed up. We're going to start off with Pili. And oops. Okay, so we have to wait for the cooperation of my computer. I haven't rebooted it, and now it's slow as the snail. I think a snail is faster. La 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 la. Yes,
I know that. I really do.
So you looked into getting a memory or a RAM.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Manifest the money for it.
Yes. Well, so be it. And and that's the thing. I told this just in whatever, just randomly talking to Amy, I guess. You're important, Amy. Don't get me wrong. But I was trying to think of the group we were in. But I have seen, if anybody ever heard of the quantum activist, and it's, I think is Amit Sabwami, or I can't remember how his name goes. But anyways, I didn't realize it, but as I'm watching one of his things, he talks like me, and I was like, whoa. And what he said is that he wants to help people understand how to manifest. And I want people to understand how to manifest. And you have to have the yin and yang in order to just like make instant manifestations. And the more that you really dive into that yin and yang, the more you have the idea, the more you start executing that idea, the more it's moving into a different way instead of saying, oh, I want this house someday. Okay. And you have to move into that you have it now, but the more you realize, no, it's already happened. And then it moves out the hoping, the knots, like you got to talk yourself out of it so that you don't get hurt. But it's a congruency of the heart and the mind. It's the congruency of the left brain, right brain. It's the congruency of that spirit and that ego mindset. When those two begin to, and you're like, what? You're going to listen to the ego mindset? No, it is the ego. The ego is an electromagnetic guiding omniapparition. It's a lens, people, but it's when we over-identify with that lens, we make it so that it owns us, then everything we see is over-identified with emotions. When you learn how to resolve to evolve, you actually go into a space that allows you to do that, the yin and yang, the spirit and the ego lens, and you do and be. So it's doobie doobie doo. You can actually have a song, doobie doobie doo. Anyway, that's what he was talking about. And I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I call becoming a spiritual human. Because you're spiritual, you're human. It's time to wake up to the fact that you're both. It's nothing, what do you call it, spiritual about it. No, that's not right. Religion about it. It's not. Yes, that's it. Now, if I can get my one computer to work and agree with me, that would be so great. There we go. I mean, I see people in YouTube land. Hello, everybody at Medicine Woman Solution. And just know that your name, even though you only see maybe 1 or 2 people in there, we have 2 other boards. But if you email, right here, if you email what you want, then that gets to be read and you won't get missed. So remember, if you want a reading, it's good that you say hello, you talk and do all those things, but email us. That's what we can do. Pili. Now that I wasn't stalling as much as your mother wants to come in, but she keeps handing me these. It's a necklace. It's like a homemade necklace. I can't tell if you made her a homemade necklace or what it was, but I don't know why, but she just keeps handing it to me, and I keep saying repetitively, "What?" Maybe that's not the question. Maybe I'm supposed to say why, and it's like, okay. She says no. What do you do with it? So was there a specific time you had this necklace? And see, now all of a sudden she's showing me, she says, so do you, first of all, Pili, have you recognized that you had made a necklace, whether it was something in the past, or if you have made one now, or your kids made one, maybe not specifically for your mother, but you know what I mean? It's some type of, it just reminds me of a rock necklace, different kinds of beads and things on it. It looks maybe handmade. I don't know. It looks cool. But they're saying, and as I'm looking, I was thinking more or less in the now. So we'll wait for her to come up with that. And did she say, Amy, that what she wanted to?
Just that She had sent money for a 6-minute.
Okay. So she knows how this goes. We just run with it, eh? Where? Overwhelm. Who? How do you stop this overwhelm? She says, your mom says that she watches you get into high beta. So she says, I gave her one of those rose and chakra balancing. So is that what you refer to? Yes. She says, I have that same version over here. So it's funny because, you can't take anything with you, but apparently she liked it so much she manifested it there. Ha ha ha. Good to know. Good to know. So are your thoughts going nuts? Because she says there are, now she's showing me that, is it very, okay, everything will be seeming to be okay, but then she goes, the slightest, and she's showing me this like pin, the slightest pin, a pin drop, pin, whatever. She says, and then all of a sudden your stability that you thought everything was okay, you'll just feel it. And it's like a quickening. It's like inside. And then she says that, she shows me that you're laying down crying. So I don't know if you're doing it at night or if you just need to escape. So it is, because now I feel, okay, so I feel the grief, but I also feel like the immune system, and I feel, so you want her, okay. She says you may not, okay. We don't want this to become a habit, because if it becomes a habit, then, your body will expect to have to act that way. And she says, right now the body is up and down, and it is, there's a distrust of the process because towards yourself, whether you're doing it right. And she says, baby girl, you're doing exactly like you're supposed to with perfect alignment. So she's going on and on about that. And then I'm like, okay. And then I'm looking, and she says, you now have moved into more of an auto response because you can't process. And I say, okay, that's what you want her to address. What don't you want? Oh, she says you have a little bit of contempt towards how many? 2 people. She says you can think about it or not think about it all you want. She says, but it's part of that grief process on top of that. But it was there to help you cope with my passing. Oh, that makes sense. And then she says, because you had that there, you couldn't take your eyes off it. You over-identified. And therefore, now it's starting to become a habit. Soon as they're out of your space, you will probably draw more people in that will, be that kind of like that same signature. And she says, ooh. She says you have a tendency to feel like you have to be on because your energy's out here. But she says there's a party that just wants to fold up, and you do, she says. And that's where you feel the instability. And all of a sudden, that you allow that stress to occur so that you can handle her passing. But at the same time, you allow that crumbling because you can't allow yourself to feel it unless you're forced into doing it. So it's like little bits of it's leaking. It's like having a boat leak. A little bit of water's got to come in, or in this case, a little bit of leakage, a little bit of water needs to come out. But she says, baby girl, now I don't know. She said, I don't know. She said that she used a different word, but since I cannot understand some of her words, she's doing her best to turn it into me language. Not spirit, me. Oh, Brenda's language, not spirit. I gotcha. She says, you have dropped into overtime hopelessness, which then makes these particular things become more of a habit, she says. And she goes, I feel like you got that from me. You got that from watching. Oh, now see, she's using spirit language. The mirror consciousness. Like, do you take this on? She says, I know you love me, but don't take on my habit of how I process. Because, like, for instance, to remember her is how she processes. To remember her is like something. She goes, something about a cookie. She's trying to shove a cookie in my mouth right now. And she says, it's the way you're remembering it, but you are giving yourself instructions, which can create a very unhealthy habit. She says, and she asked me, please, if I would give you a point. And and yes, it is. You're going to do R3D. So remember, third position, 1, 2, 3, put your thumb down here, pushing deep, do this. And when she says you get those bouts of crying, or you feel like you need to focus on apparently those 2 jerks, understand that these are things that you can't process. Does that make sense? She says, and if you hold this, she says, my dear, then you will stop checking out. You'll stop going down that route, and you'll stop trying to relive particular events just to feel okay. And she says, you don't want to hit that petrifiedness. So there's a party that just kind of suppresses certain things, the overwhelm. Just hold R3D, do it in small little increments. Try to, if you find something, don't waste it. If it's, measure it. And if it's only a 5, she's using spirit language, amp it and ramp it up to a 10. And as long as your hand's here, and ball your ass off, but wait until it gets down to 0, she says, and and you won't even have to forget about them. You won't need them anymore to aggravate you, so that you don't have to sidetrack yourself to get over mama. She says, I'm there. I stroke your hair. I'm there. If you need me, she says, but when you do anything don't worry, dear, I'll turn my head, she says. So she goes, just don't think of me, because that's like instant calling. Mama, boom. Yes, dear, she says. And sometimes I'm busy and I can't come at that moment, but I am just a thought away. And you're always, and it's, See, what I told my kids is I'm always in your heart and mind, even if I'm not around. And so she just points to me and says, I'm in your heart and mind, even if I'm not around. Okay. That was nice. What's that for? I have no idea. All right. So now we have another page. Get the right mouse and we'll be good. And let's see, we have 2 more. So the first one up is whoever online sales is will need to be identified. You remember, when you are putting in the money, it is a service and you're not purchasing a product, because if you're purchasing a product, I pay taxes, but I don't know where it goes. PayPal takes a certain amount of money, but it's not a product. And then after that is Jennifer IRVIN, Irvin. Okay, so online sales. Let's find out who that is. We have, is that Jeremy? Well, we'll wait until that. There's always this delay, so we'll find out in just a moment, because that's what we'll do. Now, hey, Pili, she just picked me wildflowers to give to you, because they're just all these little wildflowers. There's some type of, like when you were a little girl or something, it's like the first time you gave her a flower or something, but it's just it's really pretty. Or do you have a little girl? I don't know who the little girl is, but she just, I don't know, it's really interesting. It's pretty. Yes, I call her a lot, more like I'm speaking with her all the time. Yeah, she says, but don't worry. She says, when you're doing any of your little business, she says, she doesn't come into that space. Yeah. Yes, I am doing well. Thank you very much. We're just waiting for a few minutes. And I believe, so yes, Jen, I believe you're the Jennifer Irving, right? And Jeremy, if you are the one that says online sales. So I have to do them in the order that I received them. And whoever that is. Don't have girls. Okay, so it had to have been you that I saw give her because it was you could feel this precious little girl walking up and giving it. And it looked like an old time picture, so that could have been her as a youth. But it was outside, it was sunny, it was pretty, and it just reminded me of I don't want to say meadow, it was just this field of stuff. But you said you paid, Jeremy. but you don't know what it's called or under. All right, so, she must mean when I'm talking to myself in the bathroom. Yeah, I think that's what she's referring to. She says, whatever you're doing, dear, don't worry. Let's see. How do I verify that? I'm going to go a little bit further, Jeremy, and just make sure. I think it's you. But we want to make sure that we do honor you and also the right person. I should have restarted this computer. Anyway, not a big deal. We will get through this. And any of you that's walked into the room, understand we have up here, you want a free reading, email it. That way you're not going to get missed. Okay. And if you want it paid, then there is the PayPal. Free and clear. There it is. This way it gets you to not have to be missed. I like to honor people. You come in, and plus when you email it, it's legitimately you want it. I have people that come in, say something, and leave. I go to read them, and I got all these names on the list, and half of them aren't there. So Spirit says to make sure that the energy is going where it needs to go. Then that's what we do. So again, I'm just trying to see if there's any way I can communicate with Jeremy on this.
Pili,
we already did. What'd she write?
Oh, she said thank you, Brenda and Amy.
You're welcome. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, in the corner, Jeremy, you're going to love this. In the corner, it does say your name. Good. Now we've got it. We're happy. Verification. Jeremy, was there anything specific that you wanted to talk about? Because, I just happened to know Pili's mother before, not in person. Pili asked a question. I was helping her at the time before she died, and I can feel it. So I have a connection with Pili's mom to some degree. And Amy.
Hi, Mom.
Mom, your mom said, she goes, I got tired of trying to fuss with Brenda hair because she keeps thinking that there's something wrong with it. She goes, I don't want her to touch her hair. So now I understand every time when I touch my lips that she's trying to tell you, hi, honey, how are you? I was trying to figure out, why all of a sudden am I doing that more often? Hilarious. On the right direction. Gotcha. All right. Now, just so people understand, I can ask the loved one, all you have to just think of them and bring them in. But like with Jeremy, and even if he, we haven't talked, I don't know whether he did, but he's got 12 people here. Some of them are distant. Some of them are just people that soulfully know him. And so if you had anybody on the other side, they're doing this, Jeremy. Now, I only ask one to come up to be the representation of the whole group. And if they also assist, and when I am looking at the mirror of your energy blueprints, that means I don't invade your space. You have said, yes, here is your stuff. And so there it is. Here's this. And now we're just going to turn it on, and it's about the direction. They're advising me that the best thing to do would be to grab. No? Where is it? Who is pointing to a deck, and where are you pointing to? It can't be Neverland. No? Yeah. We're going to play this game. That'll do? Hey. Doing good now. So it's about the direction and the path. First of all, they're saying, okay, there is the next chronological path, but this is not what they want you to do. It's not the next logical step. Like for a woman, I can say the next logical step usually is, hey, you find a man, you have babies, and if you want to educate yourself, great. And then some people say, okay, no babies, no man, and just go to school. But you have to understand from your direction, whatever that is, what is your next logical step? That's okay, but take it with a grain of salt. If you're going to do a next logical step, make sure it's because it's what is in alignment with you. Now you have to ask yourself, my life purpose is what is important to me. When you begin to understand what is important to me, then you are going to go, especially when you're upset. You're like, well, it was important that they called me. It was important because, and then you will feel. And then when you write all that down, then take a deep breath in of 5, deep breath out of 5, and do that for about 2 minutes. And then re-ask the question and then exhaust it. They said that part of your path has to do with finding the wisdom. Now, here's the tricky part about finding your wisdom. It simply means, are you going to learn the hard way or the easy way? The hard way is when the universe shows you over and over and over, and you're like, yeah, you're still not getting it, or, oh, you've noticed it, and you're like, yeah, whatever. And then finally, the universe says, I should say your soul says, since you haven't healed any of your issues, or you haven't changed your path, or you haven't quite seen this, then you're going to get a bitch slap. Now, the flying bitch slaps are nasty because they slap you down on one knee, and it's like, it's like when somebody dies. It just is like, frick, man. It just you can't go back to that. And that's what they're saying. So you're seeking out wisdom. And the one thing about it is that they want you to have the wisdom so you'll stop repeating something. That's the one thing about gaining wisdom. And they said, once you begin to close something. Oh, we haven't finished that. Okay. How many things does he need to close? Okay. So like when I was leaving the United States and coming here, I had to close down my business. I had to close down my classes. I had to finish off with my ex. I had to make a different arrangement with my kids. And there's all these little details to do a path switch as dramatic as I did. And they're saying for you to get your wisdom from it. Now, you just don't close it. You heal it out. That's where the wisdom lies. Because you can only get a certain amount of wisdom when your ego does it. But if you were to resolve the chemical peptides off of it, so how many emotions there's 5 particular emotions that you need to get. One is you have to release feeling uncomfortable, petrified, panic, just vulnerable, and unworthy. Now, there are different stages that you held these consciously. People go like, I'm not any of those things. But if you were to look in your past, you're like, oh yeah, I've been exposed to one way or the other. If you got anxiety attacks, they're all there. But they said that this is how you saw things growing up, about how this is how you're supposed to do stuff. Now, the direction on the path is that, the card was new beginnings. And they said that once you resolve to evolve, take those emotions out, because those are actually stopping you from getting to your path. It is also the emotions that are saying to you, I can't figure it out, or you can't, it's cloudy. But those are there to prevent you to go on that path, because there's more to the story. And if I said, what kind of story? And they says, well, something that happened at 2 years old. There was a great amount of panic, and it pulled you away from people. It made it so you didn't want to be compatible around those people. So if you have a certain amount of people in your life that you're trying to avoid, understand if it is just outgoing people, then there was some type of representation when you're younger that had put you off. And so therefore you maybe want to move towards them, that energy field, whatever it is. Let's just say we're going to say sports, and it has to do with other men. But you want to get into a sport, but you won't let yourself, because you're wanting to avoid whatever it was that occurred at that young age. How you heal that is that we would end up holding points, or you would learn to tap it out, because these particular people said that you watched them and you saw them, very much an ego, and you saw them is that there goes the happy. So it's like you have to wait. What you learn from that is not wisdom, which is you got to expect the other shoe to drop, that you need to heal that and realize you don't need to put your energy into that. That's not what's important, okay? It doesn't have to own you. I don't know if any of that makes sense to you or not, Jeremy. Notice how when you're doing something, and it can be just like you're cooking or whatever you're doing, all of a sudden something falls and you're like, I hate that. It's not that you actually hate. It's just that it's a word that shows you how much you're like, and it's telling you something that's held down deep. So look for a very specific negative word that you use continuously. if this makes any sense. Because when you do, you will be able to say, oh, I'm going to wake up from that. Now, the hardest part is if you don't know how to use tools, we have all these free healing tools that you can do on your own, or you can work with me and I'll show you step by step. We'll go right through them and I'll help you recognize it and pull it out and change it. Okay. So like cuss words. And when you, it is medicinewomansolution.weebly.com and look under healing tools and you'll see a whole bunch. The best one to do is that if you focus on knowing what your issue is, you could use EFT, but don't just use the short version. You need to do the full version because it includes the left eye and the right eye. It connects the left brain and the right brain, and it connects the pictures. It connects the sounds. It connects all the meridians, and it really needs to be pulled out on how you know it. Okay, so getting it out by the roots, if that makes any sense. Okay, very good. And now the next one is Jen Truth. I can't remember how she goes. Jen. Wait, now did she say what she wanted to talk about? Oh, Amy, I can't hear you, hon. No, you're still muted.
I'm unmuted now. I did not get an email from her.
Okay, so we'll just have to wait. And okay, so if you're new in the room, understand as we're waiting for Jen to come on. Jennifer, it's your turn, sweetheart. See up here? You want a free 1-minute read? Take that question, Debbie, what you have, and write to it and send it to this. And that way I know you're serious, because so many people get on and they say stuff and do stuff. And then when I go to call on them or I give them a reading, they're gone. So to make sure that both of us are not expending too much energy, and Spirit will give you the message and you will actually receive it. You send it here, you will get in on the list and I will put it on the air. There's no guarantee of the order. So Jennifer, you're here, honey. What did you want to talk about, dear? Is it anything specific? All of a sudden I just like very overwhelmed with heat. Now, I don't know if that is what's going on in your house or if you're having a hot flash, but all of a sudden I feel like I feel like I want to pass out, not quite fully, but something's happening on a physio level. And I'm looking to want to put my hair up because it's really a strange feeling, very strange feeling. And I'm looking to survive, I'm looking to help cope with what's going on with me. So we've already started. If that makes any sense to you, let's go. And now it's affecting my digestive system. Oh, really? And they said these are habits. Your body will be a habit. Oh, so it's so if people smoke, that's a habit. But your body will be a habit, meaning if you feel sick, it's a habit. If you feel indigestion, it's a habit. So if I were to ask what physical habit, wrong question. Any physical habit, there you go. It is about you reinforcing what you don't want to be, what you can't be. Okay. And what that means is I'm not allowed to be myself. That's is a used to be type of behavior, used to be type of person. It's like I used to be this, but I'm not allowed to. Is that correct? Yeah. And I'm not allowed to. So does that make any sense? Ooh, no. It must, because all of a sudden I'm shifting. I can feel that I'm cooling down. I feel like I've actually entered a space. And they said, pay attention to how it felt overwhelming. You couldn't make it stop. And so now I'm asking, well, what is that about? This is more than a habit. So like they're saying a place. So I'm assuming this could be like work. It could be anything, but they said it's where you have to toe the line. It's where you have to be a robot. It's where you have a certain set of rules. And there's your body's responses is So are you not aligned to your purpose properly? Yes and no. That's interesting. No, you're not, based on a program you brought with you. It's the habit. because it's treating the one thing that you like the same as if it was different. Oh, so it has no idea. It just knows you're going through the motions with the clock, your body clock, meaning it's going through that particular motion that, oh, this is work. This is how we define it. This is what we define. And therefore I have to respond this way. Now the old way was that, and your body says, I know no difference. Does that make any sense, Jennifer? Because all of a sudden it's like, I know no difference. All right. Is there something in besides defining as work? Is there anything? No, that's just it. It's just the way you. So what would you do to resolve that? And they said, understand, they said that when you were 9 years old, you became very petrified to have to be doing what you wanted to do in front of somebody. And what happened then? They said then you kind of refused to want to be your full self, so you held back because of that awkward feeling. Because of that, then they gave you were afraid of it? You're afraid of the criticism, because the type of criticism that you heard wasn't feedback to support or to help improve. Did you know that? No, all criticism was to hurt and condemn, because you always felt the intention of somebody. It's like the joke. Oh, that was stupid. There was just a particular behavior that, okay, I don't mean to do this or laugh. Up above, I have a selenite rock, and it just moved as if to say, what? Somebody up there doesn't like me. Have you ever said that? Or did you know of somebody that thought that, and then you were curious? Is that for me too? Oh, Jen, I would so love to know more about this. Interesting. Feedback's great so that we can communicate. You severed love. When age did you do this? 9. Go back to when you were 9. It's like, it's not rejecting the reality. You're just like, I cut it off. Now, was it a certain kind of love? Anybody that actually had that type of behavior, persona of that particular way that you they would do criticism, the way that love is considered that you have to hurt because that's how they define it. Interesting. So now all of a sudden my head is swimming. Yes, it can put you in a dizzy state. That's that fainting. Because you knew it was coming. Oh, here comes that like hormonal hot flash. It's what's it say? Oh, if your body is telling you, hey, look at me, says the body, look at me, then what it's doing is helping distracting you from having to go out there. It's like when all of a sudden you can't say no to somebody, and all of a sudden you have like diarrhea pain, and you're like, oh my God, you have no choice but to cut off what they're saying, and you have to take care of yourself. But in this case, it is your body's trying to distract you about what's going on in the moment. No, about something that you don't want to face. So let's say you want to quit your job, and but you're afraid to go in and do it. Or if you're afraid to do something, your body's going, you think about it. You know the event's coming, or you know that something's coming. Like some people just don't like to go to work and or to that job, whatever job it is, and your body is now saying, oh, here we go again. And then it has to go through a certain amount of anxiety, depression, frustration, stress. Okay, so Jen didn't come back. So hopefully some of it made sense. Jen, if you could give me any feedback, if I was completely wrong or if you got to think about it, because sometimes you have to take this information, think about it. It's amazing how we go dumb. I'm not calling you dumb. I've done this. I had a reader point out something. I'm like, really? My girlfriend's going, oh, yeah, you just talked about it last week. I'm like, I did? And I really felt dumb. That's an arrested development, by the way. You're like, huh? But it's just normal. Okay. Again, some feedback would be great. And nice to see you again, Jen. And I'm moving over to see if anybody else has paid. Again, if you would like, let me get these out of the way. Right down here is where you can pay. You get a free minute read. Everybody does if you email it in. Just wanted to let you know. Share it in groups. That helps out for those that really want to hear this and don't want to see it through their ego and say, oh my God, you're hurting me, bitch. But oh my God, that doesn't feel like me. I need to get rid of that, because you have the truth that you can. You got to believe it. All right, you enjoy that movie, Betty. Doing the dishes. Oh, it's good to know what I'm doing in your home. What you're doing while I'm in your home. How's that for you? Okay. Said that kind of funny. Now we'll move on to the 1 minute reads. And
Rebecca, $11 for 6 minutes.
Oh, really? Didn't? Okay, let me rewind this. Or rewind it. Update it. As soon as, oh, wait, whoa. Is that Delano?
No.
So it's a different, yes, it is. It's Rebecca Judith. Yeah, she'll pay through my account. So that's who's next. Hi, honey. She's on the other one. Okay, yes. Delano. Anything specific? Anything specific, Rebecca? What's funny is that she spells it with 2 C's, even though I see it with 2 K's. And so that's how come I know. All right, so I'll wait until she responds and she'll tell us a little bit more again. Oh, Jen says, thank you for the reading. Sorry, I made you hot. That's okay. But did it make sense? Because it's your body was is doing its best to communicate with you. And so our body has messages all the time and we don't realize it, but it stores, and if whatever identity, whatever emotion, whatever situation gets stored as a symptom in the body. And so your body has a message for you at any given moment. Like now they just made my sinuses drain, as if I'm inner crying. And so then I'm going to jump and say, we're going to talk about that, Rebecca. And then I'll look up if there's anything else specific, because they're saying that there's a certain amount of like sinus things that are going on. But what it is that you're not noticing it here. But there's a certain amount of sinus things, inner crying. If I said grudges, would that make any sense to you? Because they're saying that you're going to do a lot of inner crying if this is what's going on in your space. If this is connected, which it is, it's totally connected, and you felt other people have grudges to you. A persistent feeling of ill will or resentment resulting from a past insult or injury. Even though you're looking at the person today, it's not about them. They are a character that has, this is the stand-in for. And you ever watch those shows that your favorite character is not there, and so you have a stand-in for? Soap operas used to do all the time. And so this person is a stand-in for, and they said somebody that when you had to deal with that same signature at when you were 5. And they had this, you had to have lofty energy because this person had to have lofty energy. And that is how humans talk. And it was always a constant, and I understand why you did it is because you don't want to be hurt. And then as I understand how they did it is because that is the paradigm. That's how you're supposed to be. But you came in with an empathy side that said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I think your soul said you've been doing this for many, many lifetimes. Because now it's affecting my digestive system that it says it ungrounds you quickly. It goes like, boop. And if I said, unground you, and they said yes, because of this dynamics of, I don't want to play this, but you know what? I'm tired of you hurting me because you think that's what love is. I don't want to play this, but I'm so tired of you trying to control me based on this grudging narcissistic thing. And it's funny because you didn't do certain things. So was the other person jealous? Yes, it is. I don't want to share my cookies. Not you, but them. It was like they were forced to have to share. They were forced to have a certain behavior. And well, now I'm older, I can have my damn cookies, and it's, but now that you may have kids and other stuff, it's like, but I don't want to share my cookies. And because they didn't see you as their child. Oh, I'm assuming this is a parent. They didn't see you as their child. They saw you as a competitive creature. It's like, you're taking something from me. And does that make any sense? And you can feel how they grudge against you, and that you have taken it in that that's how you're supposed to be. And then so you will feel that same feeling because you felt it when you were younger, and you can feel it towards other, and it don't make any logical sense to you because you're like, but I'm not really that type of person. But when I'm in high beta, shit. Yeah. I think the light bot, I can just see the epiphanies going, she's collecting, she's connecting, she's noticing those patterns. And I know you're getting it. And to really get it, we want you to hold R3D. R3D, my dear, because they said that you're petrified to lose. And the only reason I say that is because when you're younger, if they got the upper hand on you, you got punished. So when you lost, there was pain. So you're trying to always avoid this pain pocket. And you're still doing that steps pattern, that strategy, how you did it in the past. And it doesn't quite fit with the new Rebecca, because the new Rebecca, let's face it, it's a whole different Rebecca. But when your ego takes over and over-identifies with matter, and you go into that high beta and into that program, this is where it gets confusing, because you're like, but why am I going there? And then you're like, but I know why I'm going there, because it's unresolved. But how do I get out of it? No, I know how to get out of it because I have tools. But why has it got a hold of me so hard? And that is where we say, in this case, there is some grudging going on, and you don't even realize it because it was a gameplay. It was kind of like how the relationship communication tool is used. Like competition in people, that is a communication tool. We're actually moving out of that and learning to bridge yin and yang instead of having to always constantly be competitive. Let's see. I smell, my nose is plugged, but I smell the remembrance of flowers. It's like there's is there reminiscing going on? Oh, I remember the day. Yeah, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, I remember the day when it was love. So when you go back and you think about how good it was, does that counteract and let stuff continue? No. It is trying to break free from this mental lockdown that they always like to live in, because there were times that you could be grateful and happy and joyful. Well, why are you showing me that? Is there a certain kind of flower you don't like? Now, I'm not saying roses, but there's a certain smell to a certain flower, a pretty flower. But it's like, or there's a comparison, because now all of a sudden I got two people talking. I said one at a time. There's a comparison of like roses have thorns. So it's like, oh, I have no choice. With the beauty, you have to take the thorns. It's not, it's like a philosophy, but it's not true. We are hardwired for joy, and suffering is an option. We can learn to heal those particular things and move on. So R3D is what they're telling me to tell you. And when you want to decide to get rid of certain grudges, you will have to notice that grudges cause you to be deprived. Hold R2D. Okay, there you go. We'll breathe in. Catch up with myself here. Switch over. And, it's like, well, I just heard somebody say, well, how does she go from one person to the next without taking on the person, like having energies of Jennifer to Rebecca and all this? No, in between, what you don't see is one it's already been established of cleansing and the clearing, so that if I did take on certain frequencies that through the mirror, which there's a protection on the mirror, okay. But if I have taken that on because my body begins to identify, then I break free of that. And there's protocols that you can do too that I will eventually teach everybody all those things. Just to let you know. Okay. Amy, have you heard from Teresa P lately?
She's in one of the rooms.
Oh, I do not see her. And all of a sudden it was like, I feel this distant part. Is she okay? That's why I was just wondering if you, Teresa P, honey, wherever you are, we're sending you love. I just don't see you. I feel, I don't know if you feel like you need us, but I am going to just ask the group if anybody else is on that comes from the pilot class. Let's just raise a vibration of thought and send her grateful energy and send her an extra dose of joy. That let's see if she can start popping in little things like butterflies out of nowhere, or a rose that makes her smile. Oh, there she is in that one. Do you need us, sweetheart? Because it's a strong feeling. It's really weird. It just felt like you're missing all of a sudden. It's like, or you're contracted your energy. And are you okay? And if any of you want to read, whether it is from your past lives to deceased loved ones, to finding from the Akashic records, from a pendulum, from an oracle cards, to whatever, if you're serious, you'll email us. If you're serious about wanting it to be done, you can do this here. If you would like to come on a video chat, let us know. We will send you the link. Or you can look. Oh, the number's not there. Huh. Can you see the number at all, Ann? The number right there. So that's what we can do. If you want. Now, how do we do this? Those are for people. If you are interested to want to come on this, you need to let Amy know, because I only may allow 1 or 2. I don't know, but it can be a contest if you're serious. But first we got to find the people. Okay. And then you would just have to have the Zoom app, type in the meeting number, and then you sit in the waiting room until we bring you in. Okay. And we may do a show one day where it's just all that.
Oh, that would be cool.
But first we got to get people that want it.
Exactly.
Because when I tried to do that the other day, nobody would come in. I'm like, okay. Who's next on the 1 minute reads?
We have another page.
Oh, awesome. Who's that?
Deb Miller.
All right.
Miller.
Let me look to see if it's come through. I'm assuming it would be PayPal. Okay, it hasn't come through. As soon as it does come through, sweetheart, we will holler out and tell you. So while we're waiting, can you give me the...
Okay, Tiffany, and just a 1 minute.
Okay, so just so you guys understand, there is a period rate. Just in the... So it's just MWS for you. Tiffany? Yes?
Yes.
Gotcha. And there's nothing particular?
Nope.
What's interesting is that you have people around you that have carried their shit on their body. You can, I don't know that they hide it. Oh, they hide it well, but you can feel when they got lofty energy, when it's happening to them. And so you can feel when somebody is being controlled. You can feel panic energy. We're talking about how many people, 2 particular people that are in your life, really. And they said that makes you muddled. You may be aware of it, but whatever shit's going on and you're sitting next to them or you're thought away, you become muddled. This is your body's response to that type of frequency. And to help you not to be so muddled, they said you have to stop putting yourself in the it position. You are very important in life, but you slide yourself in the it position and everybody else's shit gets addressed first. And there's a part of you like, well, I don't have shit, so my stuff don't need to be addressed. But you can be an interjection of joy. And if you do have issues, you should have a friend too. So maybe you might want to have a look to see if you can attract in more an IU relationship. An IU means like me and Amy is very important to each other. So we don't take advantage of each other. We're fully aware of, one's not going to be dominant in another. Now, if I have a business thing, we're doing a business thing, then she'll have to sit back because I'm in charge of doing certain things. And then, but when it comes to friendship, it's a different order, right, Aim?
That's right.
Okay, so an it, like I said, in business, it's intentionally because she's not really in that either, because of her opinion to me, or her feedback is important. Oh, did it come through? If that makes any sense. I'll check again. And it says yes. So there's a Cassie Amar, Marre, a Cassie. And to identify yourself, let me know who you are. And if I'm going to look to see if you wrote anything that says temporarily can't load this page. What are you talking about? Oh, that's no fair.
Oh, and we have to take her to come live.
She wants to come live?
Brittany Lynch does.
Woo! Okay, just have her name, yes, we would love that. We love that. Now, why are they doing that? I'm assuming it looks clear. I think I received it right away. It's because if it's an e-check, then they would have said it. Well, that's a little silly. And after that is, looks like Sharon Gordon. Cassie, 6 minutes. Now, Cassie, you're more than welcome if you'd like, as you page, you can come up on the screen and we can have a great feedback too. Anybody, Sharon. Oh, Sharon already knows how to do this. So, sweetheart, if that's what you want to do, Sharon, then we can do that as well. So this the 6 minutes goes to Cassie Marr. Is that, Cassie Ray is that wonderful sweetheart. Brittany says, not right now. Okay. So get yourself prettified for next time. That would be a good. Okay. So Casey, is there anything specific that you want to talk about? Are you a dancer? Because all of a sudden the mirror popped up and you're like, flash, pose. I'm like, are we going back to teenage days? What are we doing? And all of a sudden you're just staring at me, posing. I don't. Not all posing, just a pose. Yeah, okay. Well, I will look up and see if there's anything particular you want to talk about. And they said that you have a tendency to look for praise? I mean, just look at it. It could be accolades, it could be, or look for praise, because you get excited. I feel like you get excited and you're like, oh, look what I've done, or look how good I look. It's not that you're selfish, or don't get that. Oh, there we go. Your body's like going, yeah, she's got this really, oh my God, my lungs are like, huh. Oh, you will? I will go live with you now. Yes. Oh, I'll stop that timer. We have a live one. Awesome. Can you see the number up there, Casey? And you just go into Zoom. Remember, if you have that download, let's see. Then you type in 655-419-000. And what will happen is that I will have to shrink this and then look for participant. And when she calls in, then what's going to happen is then the room will say she's admitted. We like that. They kind of put me on a standstill. They're like, because they don't want me to talk anymore until she's here. Aren't they funny little dubs? Who's the next minute while we wait?
Marianne Coughlin.
Marianne Coughlin?
Yes, and she's wondering how tomorrow will go. It's a huge day.
All right, so we're going to ask Spirit, how is tomorrow going to go? Because it is a very busy day, a very good day, very something day. It's a very, what she wants to know how it will go. She wants to know how it'll go. And, well, then turn them around if that's the case. How will it go? Yes, go on Zoom. How will it go? And it is Oh, so it'll be okay. If you understand what a romance card tomorrow is that they said that it'd be part of a romance, whether it is, but understand with the heart, it means that there will be this particular part of joy. This will be particular thing that they're saying there. And that's what the translation is there. And then they said you can really have it if you believe. So if you take and you allow yourself to believe a certain way, if you find yourself doing a lot of flip-flopping back and forth, they said then use to tap it out. Okay, the room number again is up on the screen if you look up there. And then Amy will type in the screen number in the chat room if necessary.
I pinned it.
Oh, she did. Okay. Yeah, do notice that she's done that. And I'll give an extra card because I got interrupted. Inquire about helpful people. Oh, she says, Brittany says she can't find the number. Can you send it to her directly, please? Oh, not Brittany. She needs the room number. Well, whoever. Who? Casey. So tomorrow's going to be it will be good. It looks like it'll be all in your favor if you believe you have helpful people and you get yourself in that gratitude state of like a romantic, oh, yes, because it's that glee and things like this. I can't copy and paste. I was going to copy. That ain't going to work.
You did. I sent it.
Okay. What's funny is I can copy it, but I can't send it to anywhere because it's a different computer altogether. That's hilarious.
Myself because I'm gonna go throw kitten outside.
Well, can you give me the next person while we wait for a minute? Who is it? Thank you, Pili.
She's having a hard time.
Who?
Shannon.
Shannon. What's her last name? All right, Shannon, you're having a hard time. We're just going to go and we're going to say, what can we do? There's a part of you that says that if you were to put your hand on your forehead and just put down how you know it's a hard time, this is an incredible healing tool. So it's called the Oh My God healing tool. Allow yourself to just put your hand there and think about the hard time, because he said the main thing that's really happening is that there's the compulsion to what? The compulsion is to panic. And I'm looking and they said that it's about a self-imposed limitation. So literally you have stopped yourself from doing something very particular. And because of that, yeah, your whole body does want to take over, don't it? Keep your hand here. What's another thing? Wayne Cook. Look under Wayne Cook posture. Oh my God. And pick yourself off the floor. Those are the 3 healing tools. And then do the hookup. You need to kick the people out of your body because you need to do the Celtic Weave and the Connecting Heaven and Earth. And you can go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com and look under healing tools and look at all those that I just said, because that's important. Yeah, that's important. Okay. All right. So she's having problems, Amy, getting in. Or maybe she's got to download that. Okay, so somebody else is paid too. I'm going to just double check. After Casey is Sharon. After Sharon is, it should be Debbie, but let's see. Yeah, and after that is Deborah Miller. Yep. So Casey first. And understand, you're more than welcome to take, and as long as you got Zoom, you join a meeting and you type in the meeting ID, which is 655 419-000. And you should be able to then be admitted into that space. And I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't. 655 419-000. This is the number to get into the show. Okay. We're still having problems. Aim, I'm going to take there's no way I can. I was going to say I could send the PIN number to her directly, but I can't because I don't think I'm friends with her.
No, and I'm not.
655-419-000. Okay. Good. Oh, here we go. And, oh, not Sharon. Oops. Well, we'll take Sharon right now. And then as soon as hopefully Casey gets on. Hi, Sharon. We're going to take you right now. And, oops, let's get a full screen gallery. There we go. No, that's me. Where is me? Okay, hold on. That's the wrong person. That's not, okay. Where did I go? There I am. I'm doing really good. Amy, if you can hide yourself, see if you can actually hide your own window. It says in that 3 little buttons, see if you can hide yourself. Sharon, unmute yourself so we can hear you. Casey, you will be on afterwards, and we'll go that route. Okay, so we'll keep this moving along, and hopefully she can get in.
Hi.
There you are. Wonderful. Okay, before we begin, Casey, you finally made it into the space. As soon as I'm done with Sharon, then I will go ahead and put you up. You're next. All right, my darling. This is how it's going to go. You've done this before. You're pro now, and this will actually give Casey a good trial run of what it looks like. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Now, what's funny is when I said, Amy, hide yourself, it should just take and hide your whole, the 3 things should say, could hide the whole picture. It's not doing it. I'm going to put you in the waiting room, Amy, and I'll call you through the other phone. Okay. Now, there we go. I put Amy in the waiting room, tossed her button there. And then all these little devices. First of all, how are you doing, my dear, before we set the timer? How are you doing?
Kind of crazy. My body's in rebellion.
No.
Everything hurts.
I imagine
That's why,
it does.
That's why I contacted Tim and Elizabeth.
Okay. So let's look at why it hurts. And one thing it does hurt. Amy, call me through Alan's phone. There's a panic going on. Ooh, that's a deep panic. Okay, why is there a panic? The panic is you stored this pain. So you have been healing to the point now the shit's rising to the surface. What particular pain is made up of a lot of things? 2 particular things. When I'm looking at the first one, it is being indecisive.
Yeah.
Here's the question. Did you have people in your life that were very indecisive all the time? Like they would change their mind, or you thought you were following their rules and then they turned around and changed the rules?
No, that would be most people.
Okay, well, now we can understand just a little bit more of what that means, because what they're saying is, let me look at this feeling here. You have this strong feeling. I'm going to get this down. We're going to stop the timer just for a minute. Something's not working right. This is all play with it because somebody else has no time for you. Hold on. They say they got time for you. They're indecisive. And there's no way to connect. Even though you're opening up the channels to connect, you're going so far as to do so. But, now I feel your ex coming in. So it's how you related to people. There you go. It's how you related to people, my dear. Okay, so when you were growing up, what age are we talking about? When you were 5 years old, you started going to school. And you thought that, no, you had a neighbor kid. Did you have a neighbor kid that bothered you first before you went to school? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're going back to that pain. And that's why you got two. So the first one for apparently the neighbor kid, the actions they took, because if you're a child looking out, you're seeing another child maybe to play with, potential, and you felt petrified because they did something? No, it's just starting to get connected with people. So right from the get-go, there was a party that always felt petrified to communicate with people. Okay. Now, when I look at this neighbor, what else happened? Something they did towards, yes. And that is you felt that they had, now understand how I said that, you felt that they had lofty energy. You already are accepting and believing that lofty people are stronger than you. Lofty people can hurt you. Lofty people, you can finish that sentence, right? Lofty people can do, and you can now look through your whole life and say, look, my first husband, my second, these people here, my neighbor there, people at work. Okay. And so now your soul is saying, okay, let's really address this. And I'm like, perfect. Let's look at this and let's address this. And they said, you are now beginning to address the habit of away from, meaning I've always wanted to avoid them, but yet my heart says, I need to connect. I need to connect. Mm-hmm. Okay. But the GPS is set to, I have to avoid them. That's what we have to begin to heal. But before we really do that, do we need to heal the pain of why you need to get away from? Yes. And they said it had to do with the pain that was stored really deep in the body. And it was something that you did. You felt the pain, you created the pain, and you stored it. What kind of pain did you create? I was hysterical, and then I stored it. Okay, so what that means is that you, whatever incident occurred, you were, you could not process it. You couldn't cope, pacify, manage. You couldn't get the thoughts out of your head. You couldn't make the feelings stop. And that got stored in the body. So you did not have a healing tool when you're little.
Right.
And they said that one happened at 5. And what did you do toward yourself? You took the efficiency, the efficacy to be able to be creative, to be connective, to be that. And you basically dismantled it. You're like, okay, so let's say you made a beautiful horse and you said, look, and whoever, whether it's, and I'm assuming it's a kid, not adult, looked at it and go, that ain't a horse. You took that as very painful.
Personal.
Very good. Yes, because that's what I was going to say next. And it took your self-efficacy, and then you took that claim and says, never again. Now, the understanding of never again really does mean never again, because then your GPS is set up that says, oh, hell no, we're never doing this again. So your GPS always has to correct you, even when you feel like, oh, I want to be friends, and go over here. So you have to beat yourself up if nobody else does. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So we have to heal how you took it personal, and that is where you decided indecisiveness. And the indecisiveness was born from that. So you have a little Frankenstein of Frankenstein's monster is being indecisive, because if you made the decision to make that horse again, you might get hurt and take it personal again. But if you make the decision of not doing it, then you get hurt because you can't be you. So you're stuck. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They want you to heal that. So you're going to do R2S, because every time you try to expand yourself, it freaking hurts.
Uh-huh.
And they said they want you to feel petrified. So you're going to feel that every time you try to expand yourself, you're like, oh my God, you're petrified to do so. Okay, that's R2S. They said to pay attention to how, as you begin to expand yourself while you're holding that point, what's right and what's wrong, what's right and what's wrong. Because during your life, you have bumped into people that have chosen to say, this is how you do it right. And then the next person says, no, that's wrong. You need to do it. This is how you do it right. And then you're confused even more of how you're going to do it. Does this make sense?
Yeah. Everybody's different.
Exactly. And that's what's throwing you for a loop. Okay. So you can't help but to stay indecisive. Your heart's been opening up such a great deal that it's ready for Sharon to thrive. But these programs says, well, she can't, because she said never. She can't because she can't let go of this pain. So you're going to end up holding that R3S, okay? Remember to really you think it's gone, stay a little longer, because you're not doing it with me. Stay a little longer until you really feel like, yeah. Now, if you feel like you're stopping yourself, be aware, because I have a feeling this is a big ass one for you. You're like, oh, but you're like, ah! You go, wait, I can't, oh, it must, no, wait, what? It's because all of a sudden you're like, my safety blanket. So just take little steps. And when you take the little steps, and all of a sudden you'll be able to keep your hand there longer. Now, that may not happen, but they're kind of trying to tell me that, just beware. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Now I got to remove you. Yeah, there we go. And now Casey's gone. Casey, where'd you go? What happened to Casey? I lost Casey. Now both Casey is gone, and so is people didn't need to leave the room. Where'd you go? Casey, let's try this again, honey. I'm not sure what happened. Well, we'll wait another minute. We'll see what happens. And now I was trying to get a hold of Amy through here. Let's see if we can actually get it. I can't seem to get a hold of Amy. It's like all the connections are lost. You're welcome, Sharon. Amy, I don't know what happened, but you're not in the room either. And maybe it's because the device you were using. Okay, I got Casey back. I'm going to, you mute. Okay. Everybody, here's Amy. Okay, so now we're going to let in Casey. Hi, dear. I think I can hear you. So, can you hear me? Oh, shoot. Unmute yourself. The little mic says it's muted. Okay, talk now. Yay! We got it. All right. We finally get there. So thank you for waiting. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. First time doing the Zoom like this. So yeah.
Not bad. All right. What do you want to talk about?
I'm at a place where I'm totally confused and lost. Like I don't know what to do. Literally. There's so much going on.
You have a lot of awkward feeling inside of you. That's what you're at. So they saying that here you are, but it's awkward to make the decision because you're playing off when you were 8 years old. So your 8-year-old self is coming up saying, I know what it's like to be awkward. And to make a decision at 8 years old, it's like, I feel like you were told that you couldn't make the decision. I'm an adult. I make it for you. Okay. That's a really strong one, by the way. And the reason I feel
there's some childhood stuff that I don't remember most of my childhood.
Okay.
I have very few memories.
But that one you feel, right? Does that sound familiar?
Oh, yeah. I feel it right now. Awkwardness.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, yes. And if you would just play with me for a few minutes, you take your left wrist, okay? So you're going to take your left wrist and you're going to line up 3 fingers. Can you see me, sweetheart? Okay. Yes. And then that third position, that's where you're going to put your thumb is down here. Right where your third, okay. There you go. Put your finger here, and then there you go. Wrap your 3 fingers around. And then you're going to push in. Now I want you to put your hand like this. And what you're going to do is you said that you felt that awkwardness, yes?
Yes.
All right, on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being, holy shit, I feel the awkwardness.
Right now?
Yeah, can you feel it?
Like a 5.
5. Okay, so when you try to go forward in your life and you said you can't, how does that? Well, keep it up there. So think about this though. You're like, but I just really stuck. How did you know that?
As my 8-year-old self?
No, as the adult sitting before me. And you're like, but I can't seem to get going forward or doing something. How do you know that? Can you feel that feeling?
I tremble. I shake.
Good. Notice that's also connected to awkwardness because you're learning to pop out of that as an adult and you don't know if you're going to get punished. Okay.
Yes.
And that's where it is. It's that fine line. And so if we're going to tap into awkwardness, I want you to notice because now my body is trembling. I can feel it. And it's like, but if I go and make the decision, it doesn't even know how to make a sentence because that's how much it's terrified. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to notice, there you go. Just breathe it through, hold that spot because Oh, yep, there you go. And just think about it, feel it, remove, transcend, let it go, let it go, let it go. And just take the negative emotions and just start removing, transcending, transforming. We're going to take that wisdom and put that in that special place where all wisdom goes. We're going to preserve all the necessary learnings and put that in the special place where it goes. And I want you to feel the panic, because all of a sudden you're looking at me, the little girl, she's like, it's going to come, it's coming. And I said, well, what's coming? And she's just, the incompatibility, the being out of sync, the being attacked, it's just coming. I mean, literally just focus, remove, transcend, let it go. And you're like, but I can't be me. It can't be me. If I make a decision to me, then that's what's going to happen. And then there's all this contempt that comes flying at you. And remove, transcend, let it go. Let it go. And feel in the trembling, I want you to feel that's where you stored the hysterical, because you couldn't process the shit that happened to you as a kid. You couldn't logically process through what just happened. That's okay. We're going to process it now. Remove, transcend, let it go. And she's yelling. She goes, but there was so much scorning, so much damage, so much scorning. Okay, it's okay. That's okay. I hear you, sweetheart. I hear you. And we're just going to recognize the feeling. We're going to recognize the pain. It's okay. We're going to be there for her. You can be there for yourself. We're going to remove, transcend, let it go. You're doing really well. Remove, transcend, let it go. Now, if we were to visit that awkwardness, what is it now? It was, you said a 5, but I know the trembling made it go to a 10, but what is it now?
I would say it's definitely lower.
Okay, and the trembling, is the trembling less now?
Yes.
Now, notice the pictures that it created. That if I were to get my toe out of line or do something out of a line that I wanted, I learned. Now, did you have siblings?
Yes.
Did you have older ones that got punished if they did it wrong?
No.
No? Just you?
Yes. Just I was oldest.
Okay, see, that's what I was looking at. That's what I saw, was that you know that something's going to happen to you. It doesn't seem fair. And then your brain is like, it's okay. Remove, transcend, let it go, let it go. Again, there's a very deep amount of pictures that can happen the moment you try to be you or do whatever you want. You're like, yeah, I learned my lesson, and you're backing away. Yeah, I got this. I'm backing away. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, notice, remove, transcend, let it go, let it go. Notice how your body contracts this energy in to keep out their stuff. But we're going to say, no,
Yes.
I want you to expand your energy to push their energy off of you, because when you start to show light, then they have to get pushed away. Don't worry about it. I'm going to give you another minute. Just no worries. Just hold on. And I just want you to, there you go. You just to be okay to expand that energy of you, that it's okay. And just guess what? They're not there to hurt you anymore. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take back your power, and you're going to take off the ickiness that they gave you off of you and throw that in the treasure chest. Imagine a treasure chest. You're like, I don't want this. I'm going to just give it to God. I'm just going to give it to Source. I'm going to give it to Spirit, whatever. I'm just throw it over there. They can't have it back. Get rid of it. Just throw it out, throw it out, throw it out. Okay, remove, transcend, let it go, let it go. Throw it out. Now, take back what's yours. And as you take back what's yours, is that you're going to feel that light turn colors, and that you're expanding out, because you realize, hey, that's me. Notice the colors of you coming back. And it's okay. It's safe, because you were born to take up a certain amount of space. You're finally reclaiming that this is my space. Nobody has it anymore. Take it back. What colors are you receiving?
Pink and purple.
Good job. Bringing it all in. Bringing it all in. And all those things that they said, no, just kick it out. Wipe it off, get the gunk off between your toes, throw that in the treasure chest. That's the shit that you stepped in when they left. Nope. Don't even keep that. And this is your space. Clean it all up, clean it up, clean it up. And as you do that, look back at awkwardness. Is there any awkwardness left?
No.
Good. Keep that healing. Now look in your left eye. Is there any trembling left?
No.
Good. Remove, transcend.
No,
Go to your right. I'm sorry, what?
None at all.
Good. Look to your right. And is there anything in there?
I think so.
All right. Now, when you look at that, say, you know what? I'm done with that. Rip up the picture. Put that in the treasure chest, and you start to remove, transcend, let it go, let it go. Switch over to the left or the other eye. I can't remember where I am now, but go to the other one. And you're like, there's nothing there. There's still nothing there, correct?
Yes.
All right. We're going to go back to that other one. All right. So remove, transcend. We're going to go back to the right. And is there anything left?
No.
Good job. Look at all the healing you did. You just kicked in your own innate healing. You did it, Casey. I just helped directed you, but you did it because your hand's in position and you're doing it. You're resolving to evolve. Now, how do you feel? Do you feel like you can't think? Take your hands down for a moment. Do you feel like you can't think? Remember how when you got on?
Pretty relaxed.
Okay. And you're just like, I can't do it. And now you're like, and if you just allow yourself to breathe in, a good 2 minutes of 5 counts of breath in and 5 counts out. You do that for about 2 minutes, kind of make it a nice rhythm, or go deeper, making sure your air gets in your tummy. You're going to all of a sudden get ideas, and they won't feel scary anymore, because then you're going to be able to take and execute them. You're going to be able to make something come to pass. And if you have a block, you can heal again. You can heal all the little chunks and the layers that are there. Okay.
Okay.
Did you think that was worth $11?
Yeah, totally. You definitely moved some energy. My believer over here is going crazy.
But you did very good, because you know what? It takes your acceptance, your beliefs, and your willpower. And your body said, I want to heal. That's why you called in. That's why you were determined. Yeah. You're going, I want to get there. However, and all the blocks were what you're used to facing through your life.
Yeah.
But you did it. That tells me you're going to be a great succeeding at whatever you do, because you've already proved that of how you got here. Okay.
Thank you.
So believe in yourself. Oh, namaste, my dear. All right. I appreciate you calling in and playing. Bye.
Yeah, for real. It's wonderful to meet you.
Oh, thanks. Stay blessed. Okay. So now let's bring Amy back real quick and see what Amy has got to say. Hi, Amy. Is there anybody else that wanted to do this? And if not, we go through a page the other way. How are we doing? Oops. I can't hear you, sweet cheeks.
I had to unmute.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've got one.
Oh, Deborah. Deborah's next. Did Deborah say she wanted a live, or she wanted to do it? All right. So when we do this, Aim, what we'll do in the future is, if we know somebody's paid, contact them, find out if they want to get onto the show. And if they do, we can say, here, you can type the number in, and then you can come onto the show, and I may give you an extra minute or two. Okay. So I appreciate her vulnerability, and I appreciate her coming on. So good job, Casey.
You can hide me.
I'm going to hide you. I'm talking to you. No, it's just that, what? What are you going to be shy for, girl? Oh, goodness gracious. I love you. Doggone it. All right. How do I do it? How's that? Is that better? Okay. Yeah. So, but I forgot to pin it. Okay. Don't talk. Let me see if I can get it. Pin video. There. Okay. So, Deborah Miller, we're waiting on you to find out if you want me to. See, Pili said you look good, Ames. Which window is Deborah in? Now, again, if you happen to be at whatever show you're at, understand if there's one or none. Just understand you can get your email answered, but you got to be on the show to get the answer. We're not going to email you. You email us. We'll do it live on the show. We will clarify that. So that means you just come back later if you don't mind watching the whole show. Where is she?
She's on the regular page.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I need a Deborah Miller.
It's it starts with a C.
Oh, her name's something else?
On the page, it starts with a C. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I can't scroll, so it's whatever comes up.
I had it.
Well, anyways, Deborah's next.
And SON. She paid under Deb Miller. Debbie, what would you like Brenda to talk about?
Exactly. 'Cause you don't have to come on. It's an option. I can do that this way. That's not a problem. I'll give you another second or two just because of the time lapse. And then Spirit is going to have me already dive into talking about what needs to be done. Ah, yes. What's interesting is Pili says she likes your hair. And Brittany says she likes your hair too. Her hair grows fast because she had cut it. I guess it has been almost, not quite a year. Ames, your hair is grown. I swear to God, Ames frozen because I'm talking to her. Okay, what I feel like Deborah wants to talk about is trust. Spirit says something about there's a certain amount of trust. Now, what's interesting is that automatically I feel that her polarity is off. Okay, which means we would want to fix this particular polarity, but they're saying no. The polarity is off because there's a part of you having to exert yourself. You have to put yourself in a lofty manner, and it feels like you're changing something inside of yourself. It's like you're changing. I guess I should have held that higher. The trust you have. Okay, now tell me about this. You have to throw yourself in that, and you don't trust your ability. No, that's not that. You can do it. You got the job. But what can't you trust? You can't trust the process anymore. So you're changing and growing out of it. That's what I thought. It didn't look like you. It looked like that was the old you, and you're shifting. So you have a new thing inside of you that's what you trusted before. You're like, and what you're not sure of, the unknown, you have to start to begin to trust and, follow along. If, this is huge. When Spirit does this, it may not make any sense. So I would like some feedback. You know that as you're coming to these crossroads of switching, that you have from that particular lofty energy stuff you have to do, you feel like you're going to have a fair amount of criticism before you get to the new you. And understand how we do this is that if you're waking up in spirit and becoming a spiritual human, you're going to hear how people criticize, but you're going to listen. If they're doing it with the intent to hurt, you just don't know. If they're doing it because they're angry and this is part of you, then you can say, what is take it with a grain of salt. What is it that I'm standing out? What emotion, what particular behavior, that I could look at. And then when you get into your spirit space, you can say, okay, the feedback is when I do this, this is how some people react. Okay, is it to everybody or just to that particular signature of a person? Because they're saying that I need to turn the timer on because I forgot. Oh, good point. Okay, but they're saying that it's important that how are you fully aware when somebody has charm? I hope you put a timestamp on the same because guess what? I have no clue of whether she's on. Oh, wait, that's her right there. No, she said not live. We're doing your reading already. We've already started your reading, and it was the timestamp here is 1:48, but I think it was like 1:46. I don't remember what time I started. Yeah. Maybe 2 minutes went by. I don't know, but I just started again. So again, it's about trusting issues, and you're coming out of one behavior and moving into your higher self behavior. You're like, I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm learning to become a better person or into a better behavior, if that makes any sense. And they said that love. What about love? Unrequited love. You want me to talk about relationships? Oh, we're switching gears. So just to let you know, we're switching gears. Okay. We are reading Deborah Coniston, but she goes by Miller, according to how she paid. No, you don't have to do live. I know the delay is happening because I'm reading the after effects. So we're moving from trust of how your behavior is to who you want to become. And there's a certain amount of criticism and feedback issues. And I just gave you a step-by-step thing to some degree to help you understand how to begin to look at it differently. They're saying that now we're moving into love, and it's about true love. And it is finding that true love while you're changing your behavior. And because of that true love behavior, it's the learning how to define it. Learning how to define it. And as I'm like, okay, what do you want? And they're saying flip-floppy. As you are changing from the old you to the new you, they're saying that you're worth waiting for. That means give yourself some time. Don't look for some love right yet. If you're saying, I don't want to be lofty, I don't want to have that part, I don't want to be the one fully in charge in the relationship. Lofty can be in many different things. You could be forced to become a parent, have it, behave a certain way. Because when you are forced to have to be a certain way to have people take charge, because, there can be instances I had a lot of loss. Sometimes you have to step up in the ego. They're saying, take those abilities you have, move into the next part. And see how you have to step up. My mom is dying and had a lot of loss lately. Okay, but how you're supposed to step up for your mother? There's a part of you that wants to be more you. And the idea of love is that you are going through a lot, and they still said that you will process because you are worth waiting for. And that is, if you are to handle the loss, you're saying no. Well, right now it's raw. Now I would give you a tool to help you. I would give you a tool to help you work through that loss feeling, because that loss is a feeling and you know it so well, but you're also already knowing, okay, before anything happens to your mother completely, you've already thought about how are you going to live? Where's your safety, your security? I mean, they've been, your mother's been there since the day you were born. So there is this, having something, that firm foundation, and all of a sudden it's going to be gone. It's a hard transition, and it's hard to trust that particular part of process. And I feel like you also want to break because there's a part of you that's been so strong, and you're like, but I don't. So I keep hearing a lot of things fighting back and forth. Okay. The problem is, wow, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of draining, a lot of drowning. And I'm asking again, can we give you something? And they said, but you want to be heard, you want to be loved, you feel like you need to talk about it. That's your process. And I don't want to take that away from you. When the time is right, I would tell you, when you're laying down at night and you're trying to fall asleep, I would tell you to hold your head, here, here, here. And if you can't do that, then this. But if we went one step further to really help your heart through this hard process, oh, wow. Okay. I'm just saying, if you have your left hand up, underneath the thumb is the first point. See this? First point. I want you to put your thumb there. I want you to push in. And I want you to do this. Okay? Just remember that first point, push in. And I want you to be able to process this, because when you are in the depths of those particular points at night where nobody else is, okay, you need to heal. But the thing is, you says it's not at all what I'm looking for. Okay, I don't know exactly what it is, but they're trying to tell you something. There's a pattern. That's why opening up to communicating is important. That's what the one-on-one and the group does to some degree, so that I'm not having this delayed reaction, whether or not. I gave you more than 6 minutes, actually. I gave you about 8. Sorry that I'm so far off the reading. And I may or may not. I don't know what that comment is. So it's important if we can have that's why we do those. Okay. All right, we're good. We'll do a 1-minute read. What I want you to do, Amy, is for the 1-minute read, is that because people come and go and they don't stay or they don't hear their name, then what I would like you to do is if you see that they're in the group, you could take their first name and their second, their first, you don't have to type out first and last, but you know how, put that in there and tell them this is who's coming next and have them say here, say here. And if,
Okay, like I did last week.
And this way, and then when I call on them, and if you say that they asked a specific question, you can read it to me. Okay. So who's next? I need a 1-minute read.
Brittany Lynch.
Okay, Miss Brittany. We just started basically on these, and Brittany says she's next.
Mm-hmm.
And anything particular?
No.
All right. Well, the love cards are in my hand, and they want her to understand that there is the certain amount of chemistry. A certain amount of chemistry they want you to pay attention to. Now, they're being very vague because they said that you have, there's romantic feelings. So there's a good chemistry or romantic feelings. And they said that you didn't set the timer. So the chemistry and the romantic feelings, if I were to look at this, and is there any future thing that you want with this? And they said that you are looking for true love. Now, you need to make those very clear about the chemistry and the romantic feelings. And why are they saying that you have to make it clear? Because you need to define what new love is versus old love. And what do they mean by that? Is because all of the bad experiences you had, remove those filters so that you can really define. Like when I came over here, I could really define how my husband adores me. Before I married him, I'm like, I've never felt love like this. And when they want you to pay attention to the red flags, and what is it's not like, oh, I can't do this. It is when the red flags come up, just kind of look and say, I need to heal that. And because I don't need that in this new relationship. Because if you're looking at it and you feel like you got a different feeling and it feels good, then you don't want the blocks to come in the way. That's what they're saying. All right. After that is Ashley P. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Ashley P. Did she have anything specific to say?
No.
Okay. A part of you does not feel safe to love again, and they want you to address this. And I ask, okay, so if you feel, why don't you feel like it's not safe? And they said, well, it's because I've had to hold myself in an indecisive state, and that's what happens. And I said, well, tell me more. And they said, well, when the new love starts to come in, I go into that indecisive state, and therefore I bring old patterns. And then I bring in, and they said, make sure you let go of control issues that is tied to that indecisiveness. And then they said that you have to learn to express your love past the filters, because if you don't, then you're going to express the love the same way, which then you get the same pattern, and then any of the old issues will happen. So if I asked, what causes the wanting to be controlled, is that you're just very indecisive, but yet it's a habit. So I feel like when you were a kid, you're indecisive. You learned how to control the situation, so then you became very clear. But the problem is that the indecisiveness sits behind, forcing you to be very confused when it comes to love life. The next person that's next is, I can't read it, Shy, and then Patty. Please look for your name that's on the list next, so that you can say that you're here, because if you're not here, I'll still read it, but Amy will have to put the timestamp down, but I would rather have you be present. Shy. When it comes to Shy, there's two things that's going to happen with that. When it comes to Shy, it has to do with there's a past life relationship that had come to pass, and somehow it's confusing you. How is that past life relationship confusing you? And they said it has to do with a particular pattern that you keep reliving over and over. And it says forgiving and learning. Giving and learning. And if I look, this says that, okay, faith and having faith. People have faith and they're like, well, I don't have faith, and they think it's about God. But you do have faith in the fact that somebody's going to hurt you. You do have faith that something bad. So it's like learning where you put your faith, your energy, where you accepted, you believed, and gave your willpower away, because that is what keeps a certain holding pattern of a certain behavior of a particular relationship that keeps popping up. And they said that it's not just about forgiving and learning. It is about where are you putting your belief in your faith. Okay. They said that you can easily use a different kind of healing tool to, like EFT can help you tap that out. Using HOPE Therapy can help take out the emotion that makes you keep going and repeating something. And we would like you to see you evolve. The next person is Patty. Anything from Patty that she wrote?
Nope.
Okay. They said something within the next few months. You will have an opportunity that will come up, but you won't think it's perfect timing, but it really is. And this directions, it says that there'll be like a choice of a new direction, but you won't see it. They literally said that you will not see the perfect timing nor see the direction. And, so your life is unfolding actually for the better. Now, the question that I'm looking at would be, did you know you asked the question? Oh, years ago. Oh, so you said something years ago that I want this, and you started putting it out there. And then one of the things I heard was that part of your program on strategy of getting something, and you've kind of forgot about it. Now, they said that you won't notice it coming because you forgot that you asked. And it's one of those that, how do you want to put it? I feel, and see, and again, it slips your mind. You don't even realize. And what it is, it's that moment where you're thinking and you did not know you put it in the universe, but it was very solid. Your heart and your mind were connected. You send it out to the universe, and the universe sees that as a GPS. And so things are going to change. So it'll feel like dismantling or closing or bad stuff, but it's not. You have to look at it and say, in order for me to have this new thing, I have to change this, close doors, dismantle, get rid of, have closures so that energy then can go into the new direction. So that's what they're saying. And I'm going to look. Somebody said they paid. I'm going to double check to see if it's arrived. And we'll go from there. Yes, Lenny's paid, and then we will leave off on Sarah B. Okay, we'll do Sarah B and LaRonda after that. So just get that prepared. Lenny Sayers, did you want to come onto the big screen? Like Amy and me, and I can put you up here. Or we can do it just like we normally do through this. You have a choice, Miss Lenny. Okay, so we'll wait for just a second for that. I'm going to look at Sarah B real quick. Oh, she says I can. Okay, so Lenny, get onto Zoom. Type in this number here, 655-419-000, and you'll sit in the waiting room, and then I'll get to you in just 1 second. In the meantime, I'm going to take Sarah B. Sarah B, they said that she's got a question. Go for it.
Why do I have so much hair growth, but my hormones have come back as fine?
Good. Well, first of all, it's because you have to live through other people's ways of being, which throws your hormones off, and it creates a suppression. But one thing I'm going to tell you to do is you got to retrain your hormones. I would tell you got to understand, touch here, this first point, the round point in the back. You need to hold it like this, or you can do them individually. Okay. It's top part, round part, flat part. And you hold them for as long as you need. And your body, because that's the stress. That's the axis stress. And so your body goes into stress, which throws off the hormones, which then causes you to, every time you have to, this particular environment and any of this stuff, you will go into that particular feeling, if that makes sense. And then as I'm looking, they said the particular emotion is that obsessing. Your obsession And do you feel other people obsessing? And that is why you have to live through others, is because it's the way they behave. Then you're stressed, and then your body goes into the situation, and it's just unbalanced. The hormones are not going in the proper direction. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, Lenny again. As soon as she does the come in, she'll sit in the waiting room and I'll see her. Amy, I will, doesn't matter. I feel like she doesn't care if you're present or not.
Ronnie is the last.
All right, LaRonda, let's do that last minute. Did she have anything in particular?
Past loved ones.
Past loved ones. All right. So anybody from the past want to come over? You got how many? 43. All of a sudden you have tons of people that says, "Oh, you're doing so well. You're doing so well." They love the fact that you're waking up. Someone that you've lost. What are you talking about? 2? When you were 2. Somebody when you were 2. That's interesting. They said that I have no more earthly worries. And people want you to understand that there was a part of you that was that age, and you heard people talk, and there was a part of you that thought that when people die, they take their stuff with you. And they're trying to tell you, that little part of you, that no, it's not, we don't take anymore. We don't take them over. That emotional stuff kind of burns up. And although you may not understand it now, everything happens for a reason. And yes, you're being sculpted in a certain way that's going to help you move into a particular direction. And so it's time to take those old beliefs and start to transform those out. Be aware of your questions about death and the other side, because you're ready to transform. And Miss Lenny. I don't see where she's at. And
I'm going to text her the Zoom number.
Okay.
Yeah. Teresa has a minute. I didn't get the email, but
Teresa McAfee. Okay. Hello, she says. All right, we're going to give you a minute here. Oops, don't knock over the thing. Your energy all got these energies of figure eights and something to do with love. So I'm going to get the cards out and let's find out what they're referring to. And they're saying, very soon, my dear, very soon, for whatever it is, whether you have a love life or whatever it is, something very soon that you love is coming into your space. Something is happening. Something's coming to pass. And they said, more or less, it's like a soulmate. It is this energy that's coming to you in a very strong, it is very strong. So the question is, are you open to receive it? No, there's a party that says, and I said, okay, tell me more. And they said that you're not ready to commit or have a wedding on such a deep level. And if I said, okay, tell me more. And they said, well, it has a lot to do with when they have control issues, not you, but them. And then that puts you into a spot of learning how to put up new healthy boundaries. And they said that you're in the middle of that. So I says, well, what do you need to resolve out so that that love can come back in, and that you're petrified that same shit's going to happen again, because you don't want to be vulnerable to that particular pain. And I agree. So then I would say use EFT or make an appointment with me so we can really dive deeper. That's up to you about how you want to do that. Okay. She's still not present. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody else in the room while we wait? You're welcome, LaRonda.
TP.
Who?
TP.
TP. Oh, that's funny. Oh, TP.
Yeah.
Again, she's hiding in the background. That little minx. What you doing, girl? She's like, you flat energy today, sweetheart. Oh my goodness! Because again, there, you have a lot of fear that's swirling around you. I gotta find out whether or not is this your fear. Fear they may find out. What age are you? You're 4 years old. Where you're hiding. You have a very active memory right now. I mean, not recalling in a memory spot. But you have a very active, the activity of a past, a little age self is come to pass. And it says that you have the fear that they're going to find you. So did you have a good hiding spot when you were little? Your body is saying, oh my God, no, I feel it in my nerves because it's literally going, it's like cuts me half off. And then my nerves down to my legs are kind of like trembling. Yes, because you know that here they go. They're going to force me to live their way. And I don't want to do that because it's like, what are you really hiding from? How you have to treat yourself. Yeah, you didn't know what to do with it as a kid. They said that you panicked and there was all of this feeling attacked and you didn't know what to do with that emotion, that it ended up turning out the way it does today. So you had to suppress that feeling because your mind couldn't handle it. You felt going insane as a 4-year-old. And because you're like, oh my God, I can't do it. It's like when I was molested, I could not process that. Okay? That's the detriment of how this feels for you. You're like, so you need to hold L2D, sweetheart. You really do. So what's on the home front?
Lenny's your computer.
Oh, that's fine.
1 minute.
That's fine. Okay, yeah, we'll take that. And then
Skylar. And she says her grandma passed away 7 years ago. Strange things happen all the time. I think it's her way of saying she's here. Things of mine come up missing. Just wondering if you know it's Spirit's way of saying that she's here. I would also like a 1 minute.
Okay, so there's a part of you that when you see those things, it taps into your instability that you had as a little kid. So you weren't really sure. So I think you saw a scary movie, and then that made you feel like you had a scary incident. So now that you're feeling this, yes, you want to know that as long as it's not the devil, is it them? And I'm going to tell you that yes, over here right now, I see 4 particular people. I see. It looks like a reptile in the corner, and there feels like this. Oh, now I got an iguana on my lap. I don't know who you know, whether you have one or not, but the point is that we are very much real, and the feeling that's happening is you want to believe, but you have that little self that's scared, has that scared memory. And I would say you may want to do sensory eye accessing to get the picture out of a scary movie if you remember it. And they say, I watch over your daily. And you says, that kind of creeps me out. But yet it makes you comfort. Yes, they are. She is, per se. She's just a thought away. And understand that you have somebody that, did she even know you? Okay, so you're definitely, this is going to take forever, but we are soulmates. So somebody on the other side is a soulmate to you, okay? And it's how it defines what a soulmate is. You can get many of those versus a twin flame, just to kind of keep that difference. Okay, Lenny has disappeared. She was here and now she's gone. Did she tell you what happened?
I'll ask her.
Okay, because I saw her and then now it's gone. Okay, remember we have a waiting room, and then you can't hear anything when you're in the waiting room. And so that can be very discouraging if that's the case, but understand I do see you. It shows me right at the bottom that you're here. Okay. It will show. Oh, there she is. Got it. And here we go. Hi, dear. Hold on. Let me make you bigger. And gallery view. Hi. Oh, you got the world behind you. Yes. Oh, you can't hear? Look to the lower, you're using the iPad. You may have to turn the volume up. Sometimes they show it at the very top that you need to turn on that particular volume. And your mic's working fine because I can see. Let's see. No, her mic's not even on because I can't even get a mute. Like with Amy, I can get a mute. With her, I cannot get a mute. Look to the lower left and see about the mute button in the corner. Is it, do you have to activate any of the audios? Just so you know. We'll get this. We'll get this. We will get this. And while we're waiting for this, understand if you're in that room, wherever room you're in, understand if you have a question and you want to be read, you are not being overlooked. We are asking if you want a free 1 minute, you email us. Okay? Oh, we got Mike. Okay, turn it on now. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And I hear you. Good. We've got liftoff. And obviously, she looks like she's in space. So we've got this. Now, you're okay we have Amy here? Because I can...
Yeah, of course.
That's what I figured. Otherwise, I can kick her to the waiting room.
No.
Hey, Letty.
Hi, sweetheart.
Okay. So what is it that you would like spirits to do?
Whatever I need to resolve and evolve from next part. What is it coming up, or what do I need to work on?
Career. They want to go to career. And I'm asking, what do you want her to know about this? And they said that there's some type of career itself or in your home. Doesn't matter. The environment inside, the environment of wherever you pick up. So it's like wherever you go. Okay.
Yep.
Wherever you go, there is a particular part of something you're attracting. No. Something you can't help but seeing. Okay, so we're talking career. So you're talking about when she goes for an interview, or I'm assuming it has to do with, career or job? Career. So it's not you going out and getting a job, it's you creating one. Okay, so now we're a little bit fine-lined. You're creating the job. What are you seeing? Is there a market for you? Can you see that?
A market?
Yeah, can you see a market for you?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I've still got to do my rest of my study. I've got 6 months to go.
Okay, because they're saying that here is that right now is when you need to start to begin, to know that you've already finished, you got your degree, all is good, and what does it look like? They're saying kind of start preparing yourself there so that when the 6 months are up, you don't all of a sudden get disappointed, because the turnaround time is what they're asking for you to look at. So if what you're doing, say thank you, so that you know what you're supposed to be doing next, and you can feel it. You can feel, because they said they're going to drop hints about this career more and more, and it'll just come in small little increments, meaning you'll get more and more aligned to what you know is new, but know is you. And
so is this got to do with my project that I'm working on at the moment?
Something to do with that. Now, what's funny is that I asked if it had anything to do with food, and they said that food's not a part of it. Is that true?
No. No, it's got nothing to do with it.
That's what I thought. They said that's off. That's not even on the burners, because they told me that when I first met you, was that food had nothing to do with what your future is.
No.
Good. Okay, then we've got that. Now, so they want you to understand when you're looking out for that particular thing you're doing, there's a part of you that's not fully accepting that they're ready for it.
No.
But you just need to come align to that for what they're ready for. Okay, so you're the tribe of people that you're supposed to be in charge of, all the stuff that you're supposed to do, whatever your project is. You're just going to have to learn to put the cord out there and start calling them in.
Okay.
Now, as I do that, I just got butterflies in my stomach, and I'm like, what? Okay, you with butterflies? Okay, but anyway, I've got them. Let's address them. And I'm asking, is this an old? Oh, it's old. So yes, your 6-year-old says is that I'm looking for approval. So, all right, approval to do it? No, to approval to let the light shine on you. So are you doing this project alone or with somebody else?
With somebody else.
Okay, so that's why I see 2. All right, so now your little self is saying, I have an experience of when I was little, the moment I tried to shine just as bright, then it felt like somebody was trying to put your light out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they want to shine brighter. Okay, so your 6-year-old is the one that's saying, I kind of need to be addressed so that if you want to do this, you won't have that same issue to come up and you're like, oh, this shit's got to be fixed. They're telling you ahead of time. Oh, what's going on with world consciousness? So there's a lot of world consciousness changing, and somehow so are you being an activist to some degree? No. Okay, so what does that mean?
No.
No. What do you want to...
My new projects will be able to help other healers.
Okay, is this it? Yes. Well, how does that play? You have an active memory of when you tried to reach out to help others. You tried this before to some degree. Yes. What age? How old are you, dear? Because they said at 32.
38. I'm 38 now.
Look back at when you were 32. Did you try to help some people?
Yes.
Okay. Did it not go so well?
No.
All right. That experience is going to come up and bite you in the ass too.
Okay. Lovely.
They said you still have residue toxin from that at that time. And they said that's very important that I address that because it said it affects the small intestine, meaning it's the effort is unreceived. So whatever effort you're doing, you're going to go, oh, you're doing all this effort. And they're going to look at you like they have no connection. So the effort's unreceived. Let's say you spent 2 hours doing something for them and they see that you took 2 seconds to answer and they're like,
it was setting up a restaurant. Working my ass off. That's
okay.
what it was.
All right, feel that, own that, look at that, and look if there's any grudges or anything like this, because somehow that's going to affect your new particular part of who you are. And They said that notice that you have a particular outcome. And they said notice that when you were 3 years old, you wanted a particular outcome and you got burned. You did.
Yeah. Literally.
Oh, the hand thing. Okay, so they're saying, notice now, here's Lenore. I want a particular outcome. I have this project I want to do. You have to heal how you're afraid that your light may not shine. All the efforts you're doing with this partner, you'll feel like you may be doing all the work and they won't appreciate it. Or if it's with clientele, then they may not know that. But at the same time, you're used to getting burned for a particular outcome. So those particular 3 things I would say you need to heal and address. Okay. And if I asked Spirit, is there anything, they said, no, that you have a new healing tool that you've been using.
Correct.
Okay. They said, go for it.
Okay.
All right. We'll do that then. Good job. Thank you very much for honoring me. And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Good luck on your endeavor. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See Amy.
There we go. Okay. So that was good. Thank you very much. And I appreciate that. We're going to look again to see if there's any more people. My eyes. And see, that was quite painless. With Zoom, you can change your background. That's why she had the world behind her. She was out in space.
Pretty cool. But usually when I quit, it's like kind of goes like that.
Yeah,
over my
distortion.
head.
I know. I felt the same way. Now, if I had the green screen, it'd probably be better. But I even downloaded some different types of things, and it just didn't work for me. So I just figured I'd keep my background and put more up. What's going on? How is everybody? Hey, Sue.
I have any more emails, but the Michelle in the room, she has a family member that has just been diagnosed with MA.
Oh.
It's starting to affect her. And she's wondering.
All right. Well, remember, every person that has an issue has their souls agree to do certain things. And when I've come up to help people, if they don't really want it, then it doesn't matter what I know or any of that. They have to want it. So when you're about ready to help somebody, you got to find out whether they want it. Now, I have had 2 people that really wanted it on the outside, but on the inside, their soul says, oh, hell no, because they want to freaking go. And I'm like, wait, what? And so every time I was trying to figure that out, I went and would help them. And then all of a sudden, oh, they would scream and holler, I'm falling. I mean, there was always this dramatic stuff that would stop it. And it's like, spirits would see they're not congruent with what and who they are. And I'm like, but if we ask a little bit further, your body's constantly talking to you about a particular thing. Now, hopefully I don't lose my screen. I'm going to put me back to being this because I need to, how do I get it so that, there we go. I did it. That doesn't matter because I still need to get out of that one. Okay. We're going to look it up. Now, what would she say it was? MA. What is MA? Michelle, if you're still present, please let me know. And if you know exactly what MA is, then I can look it up a little bit more clear in my messages from the body. So metaphysically, we can interpret what is the body saying, because the body is constantly communicating with us and has its own language, and to translate that sometimes is not the easiest thing to do. But when you have a lot of tools, there's ways of finding out. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, God. Yeah. Bless me. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to look under MA just for a moment and see what happens. I'm assuming it has to do with multiple something, but I don't know.
I'm wondering if she hit an A instead of an S.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, but I want to be clear because MS, there's a lot of things here. It's like loss of nerve endings, resulting in weakness and incoordination, often leading to immobilization ultimately. Now, there's a lot of things that can be headed under this. Hardening of the attitudes, exploiting rate, oh my God, Brenda. It is exploitation rage. They feel like they have been forced to undertake hard physical work, and it's equivalent to its energy output against their will. Rachel Mary said, did the email come to her? We will check, Rachel. For instance, multiple sclerosis can be about, got to take care of it myself. And it's a very strong statement. Or self-straitjacketing. Self-straitjacketing is they are fearful of being free, and they are terrified of their true feelings. They are repressing their emotions. And so it's a little, we can go into a little bit more detail, but I want to make sure that this is correct. Now, again, she's probably not even in the room now, but it's okay. We can address others, and people may, because I did say email so that I could address it. That way I know how serious. So Rachel Mary, if you had something very specific that you wanted to say, and the thing is, it's hard for me to get into my one email. That's why we've been going at this email instead of the old email. Lillian says she's paying for a reading. Okay, so we will check that out. Rachel, I'm just going to jump in and just give you that 1 minute. And Lillian, if you want to be on here, the video like Lenore was, then you're more than welcome to do that, or we can do this back and forth. There is a particular heart wall up, Rachel, that has to do with the structure of how your life is. You're like, So you put a heart wall up, and if I ask what in particular, they're saying that it has to do with wounded pride, and your feelings were hurt when you were 3. And if I asked, tell me a little bit more about this, and they said, well, you put when you felt hurt, you hid your heart, because how could you be vulnerable? Because you really felt their agenda coming at you, and it really hurt. And because of that, you learned to check out, but you didn't just check out. You put up a wall so that you didn't have to address that feeling anymore. And now it's become part of your religion, that dogma. It's simply there. It's just, but it all can be addressed and healed out, just to let you know, Rachel. You can do that. You can start, looking at any of the healing tools to do so. Okay, I'm going to look and see if Lillian has sent it. Now, Lillian, again, if you want to, you got to tell me how you want it to be read, whether you want to come on like Amy is, or we can do it back and forth like we normally do. That's up to you. That's what we're going to look now. All right, so nothing's come through yet. Is there anybody else that has emailed? Anybody else in the room that wants a 1 minute?
Me?
Okay, so we will do Amy, and we'll go from there. Oh, I probably should slide this up. I did. Okay. So you're uncertain about something, Miss Aim. And they said that's a habit. So like when you woke up this morning, you woke up with uncertainty of how to start your day. You woke up with uncertainty about how you feel like, how do I interact with the environment today? And that's part of that depression.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that it actually rocks you, it throws you off. It doesn't just make you flat, it throws you off. And is that true?
Oh, yeah. I would say so.
They said guilt has a lot to do with it. Guilt, I should have got up early. So has anybody found out your new sleeping habit or a new eating habit and they've been throwing their opinion on you and making you feel guilty?
Probably Mama.
Is that true? So Mama is standing in for the character of somebody in the past. And when I say that, they said, well, when you were little, your subconscious mind of other people. So it is a trapped resonance. So the trapped resonance of 5A, which is you're supposed to put yourself in a subordinate space, and to be inferior. And your brain goes, I have to think what other people think. But in this case, you actually stepped to and felt other people. And you didn't have to think it. Your body was, oh my God, and they wanted you to be inferior. And they deliberately told you your place. And I hate to say this, but your dad's appearing him behind me. So I'm assuming he's claiming that. Would you say yes or no to that?
I'd say yeah, probably.
He says, he says, I was very selfish. I was in my own world. I couldn't get out of my hells. I couldn't get out of my overwhelms. I couldn't make heads or tail of the emotion. And, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because of that, it makes it very much as a habit when you're little. They're saying it's okay. You can get out of this. You can address it differently, if that makes any sense. Okay. And go from there. All right, I'm going to look again. Let's see if Lillian, Casey said she emailed. Could you see if there's anybody else that's emailed? Hopefully you're enjoying this show. I have no idea. I got an 11, 12, 1. I'll go for another 30 minutes. Lillian, your money came in. Lillian, when you do send it in, make sure you don't click product, but click service, because if you click product, then they think I'm going to send you something. So they take a bit, they take a big chunk of change out so that they think it's a product. I have no idea why. But anyways, that's what we're doing. And hello, Patty. Has she said yes to it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it this way. And if she wants on, it's a whole new process. And Amy will, ask you, do you want to go live onto Zoom to have a video? And then she can send you the number and you have to let us know. Otherwise, I won't wait. I can jump on. If you have what you want me to address, but don't want to be on, you can put it on there. And so I'm just curious. So Lillian, so far, all I see is hi, and I've paid, and I don't see any more information from her. So Casey said she mailed, but you didn't receive it. When we look at this, Casey, I'm just going to look, and then what is it you can't figure out? Casey, there's something that you can't figure out. Do you know what worthless feeling is? Do you know what that worthless feeling is? If you know what the definition of that is, the strangest energy is that it's there. And they said that is actually interfering. So when you go to want to work on something, it literally makes it so you can't figure it out. It's like part of your arrested development about how to keep yourself at a certain level of your thinking so you don't disturb other people. And they said that happened when you came to reproach people. Like when you go to approach somebody, if you would approach me, you don't know me, but you feel like you couldn't approach me. But if you were to go and talk to somebody and you kind of have an idea that they're unapproachable, there's a part of you that knows you have to approach them and you're like, oh, fuck. And then because you can feel that worthless feeling somewhere inside, and then you can't figure something out. Literally, it kind of puts the brakes on. Hi, Sue. Okay, Lillian, I'm going to just begin. I'm hoping.
Me? She said, happy to be here. I had an injury at work last week. I feel that I need to move to another job. As soon as I heal, I will be looking for a new opportunity. I would love healing and a message.
Okay, that would make sense. All right. Well, let's put it this way. I'm going to use my husband as an example. Spirit has said to him, oh, you need to retire. And he's like, but I got years left. And how are we going to feed ourselves? Blah, blah, blah. And so then there is all this worry and fear and stuff that you have to do in order to survive on the planet. And so then he's like, nah, he thought he could say no. And then little things started to happen. We went on vacation, and then Spirit told me to talk to this woman in Nimbin to help him. And so I said, I paid for it. I'm like, oh, yeah. So then we paid it so that he could get his. And lo and behold, he heard the exact same thing. He's like, what? And so then he started seeing that he wasn't supposed to be in that profession. Not that he can never work again. It's just he's not supposed to be in that profession. And he's been asking Spirit, please take care of my depression. Please take care of that. Thank you for the answers. Thanks for the healing and all this and that. And he's been doing lots of things of healing, but you have to have closure to certain things to move forward. And he's, we're supposed to have our career together. But it's like, we have to wait until this happens. Well, the universe has kind of said, okay, you know what? We keep telling you. So he went to work, and my God, he developed this thing in his hand, and it is very crippling when you can't really use your thumbs. I said, I would say that's not quite a bitch slap, but that's a slap. It's a kick in the ass somewhere. He's like, and then he says, oh, and so he's putting all the pieces together, and he says, oh shit. And then his blood pressure went right through the roof. And he's like, I can't seem to figure out why I can't control this. And I says, I think it's another kick in the ass, because you're doing something that your soul don't want to do anymore. You're supposed to go over here. That's what I feel like it's happening to you. So now that he said, okay, how do I close this? What do I do? The universe says, good, let me take care of it. We're going to do it with grace and ease. Even to the point when I did a card that said you had so much authority that says, yes, please stop working there. And so far, everything is like, what do I do? Now he can use these thumbs now, which is good, because they were like, there's not much you can do when you feel like your thumbs are gone. And he couldn't even use his first fingers either. But now it's like, they're telling you that you can recover from whatever it is, but you have to pay attention that have opportunities come up for you. They literally are trying to show you that there's something else out there for you, and you have to expand into another area that you like and develop that and go and allow opportunities. So if you quite don't understand what you're supposed to do, say, okay, show me what I like, what's important to me, where should I go? And they said, don't let the dollar sign be the thing that really drives you, but let you be guided that you will start having that faith and the money still coming in. And they said that, yes, that is exactly what that they've been trying to tell you over and over, that yes. And what else is there? They said that you haven't been able to mentally receive to get more information. You haven't been able to really put the pieces together. So now I'm just going to look. The reason why is because you have a hidden heart wall. Really? They want you to address inadequacy. And this is not something about rolling it out in this case. It is something that is part of, you've been so strong for so long, you may not even be aware that you had inadequacy. And it's the inadequacy of something that was solid to the transition to what you're supposed to be. So it's inadequacy. I also feel like somebody is in the room and they kind of like tap into that inadequacy and you don't know it. And I'm like, really? And I'm looking at this and they said, you can feel inadequacy in others. And that's the very first step. Oh, I can see it there. It's how you define it. Also, you can feel inadequacy of others. And when you feel with inadequacy of others, it actually changes the environment inside of you. Is that for the better? Yes, so that you know it. But they're saying it's happening so you can see the mirror is that you have to address it in you. Because you're a very quite confident woman. And they said that the safety, the inadequacy hits the safety button on you. You're like, oh, I don't know if I feel quite safe. But it is a major freaking leap in your thinking because the universe has already got your back and it's already expanding for you. It's like the universe says, I got you. And you're like, I'm still unsure about that. And they already gave you a yes to be sure about it. And if I asked something else, they said that you got to stop talking to so many people because it says helpful people. You got to consider the source. Is what they're saying, have they been there, done that, or is that something they're pulling out of their hat because they watch TV and they think they know it? If they are not sure of the area they're in, they're going to talk you into staying right where you are or where you need to go. And that is not good either. And they said a year from now, you're going to see a whole new you. And you're like, why did I ask this question? So they already said that they got your back. It's all going to turn out. And it's just the transitioning place can be a little bit tricky. And they said, learn to forgive yourself because other people think that you have a program within yourself that says, I can't quite forgive myself if I don't know it or something like that. They're saying that there's some forgiveness that you have to do on your part. That makes sense. Yes. How are we doing, Amy? Is anything? Let me know.
Got an email from Lucinda Walker, and then she wants a 1-minute reading, please.
You bet. Okay. So Lucinda, oops. Get me back to the right screen will be good. Again, we have some money from Janie Resnick. So there's a 6-minute that Janie Resnick. So have her show up. She's up in the other medicine solution. No, that's Amanda Jane. Okay. Identify yourself so that we can see you and know that you have an opportunity to come live like Amy is so that we can help you heal. You can be big or you can be very small in the corner. That's up to you, however you want to do it. But it'll be much more aligned with the time because there's such a delay in the camera. Okay, so who are we doing for 1 minute?
Lucinda.
Okay, so there is you feel like you got to pay back karma. You got karma. There's something to do with some type of a karma. Somehow it affects relationships. I don't know if that's true or not. So do you really have karma issues? To some degree. And what is this? It's just that people take more than they give, and that's what creating the karma. So it comes into relationships. It's about the compatibility of a relationship. And if I ask a little bit more about that, they said, well, it is, you don't want to be, there's something to do with a wedding, but it's in reverse. It's like, I don't want to, and notice the energy. If the energy is not balanced, then it is going to create a certain type of karmic issue. And you don't need that. You want it to be balanced. They said that whoever it is that you're with or whatever it is, they don't want to let go of control issues. And this kind of throws it off. So then a karma ends up happening. So there may be some healing shit that you would do, I would tell you. And so that it can stop having this happen again, because you're like, but it will keep happening until you heal it. Have we identified? Oh, thank you, Lillian. She was spot on. Thank you. You're welcome. Lucy says spot on. Excellent. Have we gotten and found where this wonderful Janie Resnick is? No?
No.
Well, it's $11, so I'm assuming it's a 6-minute read.
Jane.
Is that Amanda Jane? Yes, please. Is that her?
Well, no, because
No?
one in the room.
All right, so you're welcome, Lucy. And Candy, hello. We're looking for somebody has on their PayPal, it goes by a Janie Resnick. And if you go by Janie Resnick, you have paid and want a reading. There we go. Janie Ebert Smith. Yep. What do I do for live? Sorry. Oh, yes, for live. To get on here? Okay. Amy, you see her in the room?
Yes, ma'am.
If you would just send her the number. Now, if you got Zoom's not that hard to do. You download it or whatever if you've got Zoom. And then it says to join a meeting, you would type in that number. And Amy will send that number to you in just a moment. If you would like to do that, that would be wonderful because it makes it so much easier to really, and who knows, the healing will just could pop right in and help you out, or you can have it. But you get more for your money's worth when you can do the taking away the lapse.
Definitely.
Yeah, because when there's a time lapse, I mean, you still get good shit, but it leaves you with questions sometimes. And that can be a little bit daunting. Because you want to get your money's worth. All of that's good. Okay. So, Jane, you take a look at the fact that the number she has written down, but there, here is the number here, 655-419-000. My brain did not see the numbers, and therefore I think I said it completely wrong. But just download Zoom. It's not that. It's actually very quick. It's a small little program that don't take too long. We can wait. Don't worry. I mean, if you have to get the app, if you're on the phone, if you have a program that's on the big computer, it doesn't take long to do. Be patient. Be nice to yourself as you look. Okay? That's no problem because we like to have that opportunity for you, and I will be patient as well. Okay. And in the meantime, is there anybody else that wanted a reading?
No.
Okay, that's good. Now, what's important to understand is that tomorrow night I will be on, and I'll be doing similar to this, but for me, it's 9 p.m. at night. Here, I started at 10, and now it's been almost 3 hours later. Tomorrow for me is a Tuesday, and a lot of people are my friends that are in the United States or people that are from the United States, and you will have to you'll have to actually like my fan page and then say click to be notified. A lot of times, what time is that? That's really in the morning, early in the morning, because if you're in Minnesota East, what is it, Central? What are you? Okay, can't hear you, babe. No, it's fine. It's working.
4:30 in the morning Central Time.
And if you're East Coast, then usually it's about an hour ahead, or?
Let's see. Yes, it would be 3:30 in the morning.
In the behind. Okay, so if you're up, a lot of people are, then you can tune in. But usually I'll go a couple hours, and a lot of times people are getting up for school and stuff, which surprises me because I look and I'm like, what are you doing here? I had to get up for, but it makes sense. Central Time. Okay, Lillian Central. Yeah, see your time was always, but this woman was very dedicated. She says, I'm going to get healings. I'm going to do this. And so good on her for that too. I will also come on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Now, 4 p.m. for me on a Wednesday is what time for you, Missy?
I believe it's like 11:30 p.m. Tuesday.
Okay, so it is late at night for you when I come on Wednesday. It's late at night for you. And Brenda Climo just finished work. Would you like a 1-minute read, dear? We can do that. I think my beautiful decorations are breaking on this. I really like this top. I may have to take all that off. And Lillian says, I'm setting my alarm. Good job. And if you have any problems about the translation, go into time zone calculator, world time zone calculator, and you type in, South Adelaide or South Australia, which is Adelaide, and then whatever time zone you can see. So if I'm going in on a certain day, like on Tuesday at 9 p.m. in South Adelaide, then you put that in, and then you put in where you're from, and it shows you the translation of time. So Brenda, we're going to do Brenda a 1 minute while we're waiting for Janie. Oh, she wants to show the number again. So I'm going to show the number again. So it's 655-419-000. And Brenda Climo said it's 4:20 in Arizona. Ooh, we got somebody from Arizona.
No, New Zealand.
New Zealand. Oh, I'm sorry, Brenda. Of course you are. Hey, I didn't realize you were that far ahead. But I love New Zealand. I can't wait to get back there, Brenda. I really can't. So here we go. Brenda, love that name. Oh, what? To be something. To be something you want to be. I can't be something. I can't be something. Because every time you try to take action to be something, there's frequencies of disruption. Frequencies of what? Of a phobia. Are you aware of this, Brenda? They said that it's an auto response and it sits in the heart. So it's like what I saw this morning. It was the knot. I am not going to get in that water. I am not going to touch toilet paper. It was like, wet toilet paper. It was like, there's actually a phobia that got built around it. And they said, when you do this, you got to heal it out of the heart. Now, for HOPE Therapy, I would say L1D. You would hold the left wrist in first position deep. But they said it's such a habit you don't even aware of this. And they said that the feeling, the pain, the feeling about it sits very deep. And so, no, she's not really. Okay. If I said, can you tell me a little bit more? Again, it has to do with action. Do you have actual physical pain in the body? Because they said it's connected to being bashful. And you have to go back to when you were a little kid because, what age? At 3 years old, you were exposed to being bashful, but you were exposed to people that had lust energy. And that kind of freaked you out. The little child applied that to a lot of situations, and it has really stored in the body. And I said, did it create real physical pain? No, it creates more of like a symptom. Oh, it creates a symptom. What kind of symptom? So it's not pain. What kind of symptom? What kind of pain? What kind of symptoms? Sometimes you won't even be aware of it. So I'm going to ask a little bit further. I know the time went up, but we're waiting for, my mind is all over the place. It's like, oh, does it make you do something with your thoughts? Yes, you don't want to deal with it. Oh, that would make sense as a kid. And it messes with the mental part because you can't make sense of that. Now, as an adult, you can. You're like, yeah, I got that. And sometimes when you felt incomplete when that happened and they were pointing that out, it really caused some disturbance. They said the thing that it affects you happens to be your nerves. So, it's just in the connective tissue. So they're just saying, they're just saying that there's just misfiring. It's not too bad, but it can lead to you not to have great success in certain areas. if that makes any sense. Hey, Amber. She says it's 10:30 in Ohio. Did we give you a read? I don't remember saying your name, darling.
No.
Well, if you want one, Amber, let me know, hon. Did we give Patty one?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did remember saying her name. That's why she says, oh, exciting. That makes sense. What can you do to heal that? Okay, remember, you can go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com. You can try to heal it on your own. And when it comes to something like that, you have to start to ask Spirit, can you help me identify with this? And bashfulness or feeling of when people like have lust and then you're like, well, I'm not around people. Well, fine, get a movie that would show that, display that. And what will happen is you begin to feel a certain amount of identifying with something inside of you. And notice I will not do that. Like when somebody has a fear about something, I'll say, well, come on to the show. And they're like, I don't have fear. No, I can't do that. There's a lot of reasoning and excuses that will come up and you won't even know you have them, if that makes sense. And when that begins to happen, this is where I would use EFT just because it's about tapping. Now, if you're coming to me and we made an appointment, I would actually walk you through finding the particular pattern because they can go off in so many different directions and you may think, and I'm in there with you. I'm tuned in with you and guide you and can see your numbers and all of that. So there's lots you can do. No success, I wonder?
She's not in the room with you or in the waiting room?
No one's in the waiting room. Just me and you are here. Oh, she would. Okay, she was getting the kids settled. Okay, Amber, hon. You get butterflies, Amber. Amber. Synchronicities. It's learning how to read those signs. They said there's a part of you that's not sure how to read a particular sign. And when Spirit consistently does them in threes, and they said, notice that the caregiving aspect of you, it is to recognize the care and love provided to others, especially at the end of their lives. Just as you receive care as loved as you started in life, caregivers often focus on their attention on their the loved ones and often neglect their own concerns. And they said, please don't forget yourself. Synchronistically, they want to help bring you into balance because you feel good when you can help others. But they're also saying, don't forget yourself. Because when you begin to forget yourself, it can really make an upset and it really can break your trust that you have with yourself and your higher self and trust with the universe and trust receiving so that you can get to that next phase of your life. And they says that it also throws you so you can't stand your ground, just to let you know. You're welcome, Brenda. Okay, so I'm just going to, I think what I'll end up doing, because I can't cut it off here, but I wonder if I can do this real quick. I can't forget that it's there because when I have a different show, the number's going to change. But there's an idea there for me.
Yeah.
I apologize. I can't get Zoom to send the confirmation to my email. Ugh. Oh, well, we're patient, sweetheart. And I know that it feels stressful. But yeah, you're going to get your read, babe. We really appreciate you trying, and hopefully that'll be all settled so that next time we can get together. If it happens in the middle of during it, we can stop and pull you on. But 6 months this is. Is there any direction you want, sweetheart? Did she write anything? Did anybody? Okay, so.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start this, and if you have any questions that you do have, you are more than welcome to talk anytime. I'm going to, if you see it before I do, just let me know. Here we go. you are, well, she's criticizing herself because she's stressed. I didn't mean to put her in stress, but they said that's a particular habit. So while this is happening, why is this happening to her is how I'm supposed to address this reading. Why did stuff like that happen to her? And it is that she's meant to be discouraged. And I said, why? Well, her 3-year-old was told that that's what you're supposed to do because she had somebody that constantly discouraged her from doing what it is she wants in the relationships and the career. So notice that if you're in career relationships, if you feel like you're meant to be discouraged, or if you feel that energy of discouraged, because there's a certain amount of discouraged you're supposed to feel, which is if you don't give yourself, let's say you need a 60% and you only give yourself 30, then you're going to have somebody else give you that extra 30% to make sure you have a fulfillment when it comes to that particular thing. When it comes to relationships, in that relationship, they said that it's learning how to develop trust in a different way, which is you are. They said you had a couple experiences that said, yes, that's the way it is. And then they said that you can't really get in that full trust until you release your ex. And I said, oh, it's because it's creating a great amount of disturbance in my stomach. And they said the ex has a lot to do with is that you saw the ego aspect of that. And that's kind of like it's stuck in you. And if I said what about it? And they says, well, it feels like part of your identity is you have to have people like that in your space. Understand that energy is going to go out. It's going to manifest them into your space, whether it is in a career or a relationship. You will have to keep seeing it until you can heal it out. I would do like maybe sensory accessing healing tools so you can get the pictures out of your mind. And then you may have to hold your oh my God points to get it out of your head because it is stuck in there. And that's what you know. Now, they said while you're healing, understand that you are so worth waiting for. Meaning be patient. Because you're not going to really attract in the good if you keep attracting in the shit. So they're saying, please be aware that you're worth waiting for. As you are resolving to evolve, you're going to bring in better quality of people. Okay? You will bring in better quality of people. And that is on the relationship. Now, if I look at the relationship with your career, they said, well, it is... letting your friends help you. Now, one of the things that we're referring to on this aspect, it is looking for that particular support. But before you go any further on a career versus a job, just over broke to allowing yourself to make it a career is you need to make sure you love it. And that is you have to ask yourself, is this important to me? It's important to me that I interact with people. Is it important to me that I have to I know that what's important to me is I have to channel this through. So video is a really great thing for me. Working with people is the other. Now, I also value the fact is that I don't really care to touch people. I have to respect that there's just something. I like low maintenance energy. If somebody is, so looking at what's important to you, that's how you can actually ask yourself, what's important to me? When you're completely stressed, you're really going to find out what's important to you. So don't waste those moments, because when you waste those moments, then you can't call in your soulmate because you're stuck repeating a particular pattern. And when you begin to repeat that particular pattern, then it will affect your career. It will affect your relationship because there's a part of you, again, I have to see a certain percentage of discouragement in order to do that. So you have to really heal that out. And we're back to letting your friends help you. Now, what's funny about this is that you have to begin to become aware of how friends, these so-called friends, some friends are good, some friends are meant to help you hear how they talk. Maybe they talk in discouragement as their kind of a language. And you're going to beginning to wake up and you're like, don't take offense as much as, wow, that's their language. When you go over and you feel, you're going to start noticing how discouraged is not just, here's discouraged. It's like hidden. It's hidden in the words. It's hidden in behaviors. It's hidden. And half of the people don't even know that they're even doing discouragement. So she says, so I haven't met my person yet. And the question is that, okay, so you must have somebody in your space that you're thinking of. And is this person, she thinks is the one. You got to remember, there is the soulmate that helps you grow. There are people that are there as a trans, and so she's like, is this the one? Now, I had a soulmate for 20 years, and they were the one until they weren't the one. And then I found my twin flame. And the thing is they said, you've got to start believing. The discouragement's going to just cause you not to believe. The discouragement is going to affect you. If you believe that this person is the one, then you're going to start to develop beyond that program. Okay, I would heal out how you know discouragement. That's why we're talking about it. Because you are not, that filter is not going to allow you to see this person as the one, because you can't fully believe with your heart. A certain amount of percentage is stuck on discouragement. I hope that makes sense. All right. Aw, Amber. I appreciate you too, sweetheart. Thank you very much for all of us, for all of you coming here and supporting me and wanting this service. Thank you for sharing, and remember to like the page and all of this, because it helps us both grow together. And and my throat is doing that. So just remember, there's always these things that I say. Now I have a new outro too. So resolve to evolve, heal instead of deal. You can heal this. And what do I love to say, Amy?
Stay blessed.
That is right. Until next time, definitely stay blessed. And you, my friends, I appreciate you being with me. We will talk to you later. And you, my friends, I'm very happy to be here. Bye.